this guy's sly.
Yeah. Let's see how chirpy he is now. As soon as the recording's on, he's like, "Nah, I don't want to talk about BDSM anymore." Bless his heart. Right, you boys ready?
Yep.
Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another wonderful collaboration between WrestlePlug and Let's Talk Business. I'm, of course, the Egyptian shithouse remaster that is Aeron. Joining me is the wonderful combination of the Hitman, Gabe Myers, and Mr. Clean, Anton Green. How you doing, boys?
Good. How about you?
That's such an Anton Green response, isn't it? Yep, absolutely fine. I will not be moving from this fence for the next hour and a half.
And how about you, Gabe?
Me, I'm feeling well. I'm a bit bunged up, but I'm ready basically to smash, destroy, and let nobody dominate. So I'm good.
Because that's all he does is dominate. At no point would he ever be submissive in a relationship or otherwise.
Oh, believe me, I've been submissive in a relationship. I've been submissive before, and as you can see, when you end up with no ring, that's what gets you. When you're too submissive, there's always a fine balance. Always a fine balance.
What about you, Mr. Clean?
He puts his head down and just says, "There you go."
That's off me.
He puts his head down and says, "There you go. I'm ready."
I put my head down.
He puts his head down and says, "There you go."
Do what you want. I'm joking.
Speaking of people that put their head down, shall we start with the new AEW drama that's erupted? I don't know what kind of information you've been privy to over the last few days, but apparently CM Punk made some comments after AEW Collision that upset a number of people. So the last several days have seen a whirlwind of controversy, shock, swirling around the backstage environment in AEW, with last year's conflict between CM Punk and the Elite back in the spotlight. According to the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, so Big Daddy Tuna Melts is always in there, isn't he? The situation behind the scenes in AEW may be a powder keg waiting to be lit. I spoke to two people in the last 2 days that are not names that anybody would come up with in this discussion. They basically told me that this thing's going to be a giant explosion. Dave Meltzer said regarding the backstage friction, it's going to be terrible. It's going to really hurt the company unless this thing is nipped in the bud right now. According to Meltzer, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, as well as CM Punk, have all agreed to publicly stay quiet about one another. However, Hangman and Page was not a part of that agreement. Following AEW Collision this past Saturday, Punk made a number of insulting statements about Page to the crowd, garnering a negative response in return from the audience. Punk reportedly soon realized his words came off poorly and sent a text message to Adam Page apologizing for the comments. In the 24 hours after Punk's post-show promo, stories began to emerge about talent who had been booked for Collision only to be sent away or have their travel plans cancelled, including Hangman Page, Ryan Nemeth, Christopher Daniels, and Matt Hardy. Sources close to Punk acknowledged that he had Nemeth and Daniels kept away from Collision tapings, but it has been claimed Punk had no knowledge of Page's planned pre-tape at Collision or why it was moved to another location. So one of the big problems here is apparently the insinuation that Collision was essentially created so that CM Punk would have somewhere to work because half the roster don't like him. At this point, do you side with anyone, or do you just want it to go away, or is it a case of you feel that somebody might be better off being shit canned at this point?
Yeah, I'd say really it's down to management, isn't it? That's the thing. I don't think I wouldn't like to see specifically Punk go.
Come on, Anton Green, who are you firing in this position?
I wouldn't fire anybody just yet.
Percy.
Just yet.
Get your hammer out. Who's getting the chop? Because I can tell you right now, if I had the choice, the Elite.
You're firing
fucking dog.
Well, true, yeah, but that's personal, isn't it? That's personal. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I've got personal Omega in it.
You want the Young Bucks gone. That's personal. It's
not even a case of I hate the Young Bucks. I just don't think they add enough value to warrant.
No, again, like if I'm thinking for who I'd prefer to watch, obviously like CM Punk. And even Kenny Omega out of them, not necessarily Young Bucks, but they do serve their purpose in that regard. So I wouldn't say you want to get rid of anybody just yet. The idea would be like it's at the end of the day, it's the management. Like there should be, but way I looked at it, like I'll put it in perspective. When I used to promote, I had issues with some people, so they didn't want to be on the same show with certain people. No, I won't.
Oh, who is it? Is it Shen Wu?
No, not sure. Easy going. But if you're faced with that, the thing is, it's like if you're the one that's saying you won't be on the same show with that person, then unfortunately, like you're the one that won't be on that show. If that other person says yes, I can be professional. To me, it's like I'm willing to still have you both on the show, But obviously, you know, and if you don't like each other, I won't book you in a match against each other. But you need to be, yeah. But if one of you, then what I did is I spoke to them, and I'm saying, like, is there going to be an issue with you two being on the show? Because obviously I don't want like people fighting at the show. I don't want, like, it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the venue. It's not good for the crowd. It's, like, whatever happens there, it's like, that's not going to be good. So if you're saying you don't think you could be in the same room with that person without wanting to fight them or whatever, or get into an argument with them, then obviously we need to do something about it. So the first thing is, like, are you okay? But I'm clear that I don't want any incidents there, because if you're telling me you're okay to do it and then you get there and then you do get into an incident, obviously if you're the one who started something there, you're the one that's gone. That's the way I look at it. So if one person says, look, I can't be on the same show with him, but the other person says he can, the person who says he can't be on the same show with him will have to be off the show. And if I can, you sort of coordinate it like you said, they're doing a Collision and Dynamite. You coordinate so they're not necessarily around each other. But if it doesn't work for business, then obviously you need to decide who you want more, or just have none of them if you want to be. That's the way I look at it. It's like it's a business. It's not at this stage, like, they both sides have got their value to the company. I personally, that's just my personal preference. Like, if I had to choose out of all the wrestlers involved in it, just one person that I most want to watch, it'd be CM Punk. But that's just being personal in terms of who I prefer to watch. That's not thinking, is he the easiest person? Is he the one that's got, the issues? And so, for me, that's the best person there. Like, I think he brings the eyeballs as well. Even if some people don't like him, they pay attention. So I wouldn't want to see any of them go. But obviously, at some point, if they can't get along, either you do separate the show, or you just have to bite the bullet and let somebody go.
Who's getting shit can, Gabe?
Now you have to give a name. Now you have to just say, you have to say something now. If you get on my case for not saying somebody, come on, I want to hear it.
Go on.
Who's going?
All right. For me,
bit of hesitation. Now you're right there, baby.
Yeah, you can't give the diplomatic answer. That's my job.
No. For me, get rid of the Elite. Get rid of the Elite just because, for me, they don't bring nothing to AEW. Nothing positive, I'll be honest. Because when I look at their work, and people can knock me for it, but again, it's only my opinion. I think their work is the reason why wrestling is in the state it's in terms of psychology, in terms of wrestling moves meaning much. CM Punk brings money. Whether you like him or not, he brings money. Again, I know the old philosophy with Vince McMahon or Eric Bischoff, Greg Gagne, whoever, will be like, okay, I don't have to like you, but if you're bringing money, if you're bringing people in, you're selling shirts, you're doing what you need to do. What was the old Al Snow thing? Was it how many Cokes do you sell? How many Cokes do you sell? So okay, how many drinks do you sell in a show? And I know CM Punk sell. I don't know for sure, but I like to believe that he does a lot. And again, like I say, I don't know them personally, so I can't say I don't like them. I don't like what I see from the Elite. The Young Bucks, just Kenny Omega, Kenny McFingerbang, piss off. Adam Hangman Page, basically whip yourself back to Texas. No one cares about you. You had your shot at the top, and you didn't do nothing. Nothing against me. What did he really do? What's he really done? Nothing. So for me, I think the fact that they gave him his own show is stupid. Because again, as big as Hogan was, as big as, let's say, Brett there, I love you, Brett, but Hogan, Austin, and everything, they didn't get their own show because they were, you know what I mean? It's like you work around them. If you don't like them, fine. Work with them, do your bit, and leave afterwards. But the Elite basically for me can go piss in the rope.
So you're getting rid of the whole batch of them.
No, but look,
in one go.
Not a bad way. Kenny, you could say maybe because again he's this big Japanese. Again, Aeron, you know better than me. I know Japanese stars before. Today's current Japanese stars, I'm not knowledgeable. Is he a big Japanese star today?
Not right now. Like, he was a big star when he was predominantly in Japan. For me, Kenny Omega was exposed on North American TV as somebody who could only work and not do anything else. He can't cut a promo to save his life.
No.
Anyone who comes on this podcast and argues that Kenny Omega can cut a promo, I will personally punch in the face. Like, he's a terrible fucking promo.
You know what he did? I remember seeing one match, really him versus Okada. Might have been just that much a match I saw. He came out, had a leather jacket, and I've noticed a lot of these guys, what they do, they go to Japan, they get that black leather jacket, They get that again. I love it. The old Rayman glasses, they have that. You know what I mean? He had the half mask of the Terminator, and just nothing. Yeah.
His gimmick was the cleaner. So at least he had somewhat of a gimmick of, he was a hitman, so not a very good one, obviously. But, like it was that thing of, he had but the thing is, in Japan, right, you can hide behind your wrestling. Because in North America, in Britain, Mexico, you need to be larger than life. You need to have charisma. You need to have character. People have argued with me since the dawn of time. Oh, you don't have to be, a world-class, entertaining individual. You just have to be a really good wrestler. And it's like, even Daniel Bryan didn't get over until he started really working angles, until he started giving people something more. Roman Reigns, far more over now because he has this maniacal mindset. He's got this gimmick behind him, this driving force. He's got a mouthpiece, Paul Heyman. The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. List is endless, all the greats. And people always use the argument with me of Chris Benoit. And I'm like, really? Like, he was hot shit for about 6 months and then was even hotter shit when he did horrible things. That's it. Like, he was never, he never had a level of longevity as an entertaining star. He had a great body of work for 20 years, amazing wrestler. And that was the difference right there. I'll tell you what this whole thing reminds me of. Just current society. It's a case of, here we have an individual who's extremely talented, who knows the business very, very well, who unfortunately is not that PC and upsets people who wear their panties the wrong way round in CM Punk. And then what we have on the other side are all the woke little tarts who aren't as talented, but I deserve a place too, because wrestling's all inclusive. I want to be a star too. I deserve to be a star. And what we have in Tony Khan is the great enabler, the great woke tart, who basically is like, oh, everybody deserves to be happy. Everyone should just get along. Because in his stupid little yellow brick road fairy tale, he wants his company to be all-inclusive. It's not all elite wrestling, it's all-inclusive wrestling. That's what it is over there. And it's that thing of, do you know what? If you make money and you can at least wind your neck in enough that you don't cause too much dissent, I will work with you, even if you're a piece of shit. I'm happy to say that. The problem is, only one of these individuals has proven to make serious money and draw serious views in CM Punk. The rest of them have not done that. There is no proof and no numbers and nothing to suggest that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are
Japan, apparently. Japan.
Apparently, it's over here.
We know that, but still.
Like Okada, who is by far the biggest name Japan has had in the last 30 years, right? Even he was debuted in his jeans and a t-shirt.
I remember, yeah.
Because they don't have a fucking clue what they're doing. And it's not just, but also it's that thing of, I wonder just how much the elite would be able to get away with stuff if they weren't, VP like they are. They have done a very good job of burying their heads very far up Tony Khan's arsehole so that they can ultimately get whatever they need. And Tony Khan will do whatever. Tony Khan is Mr. Cuckold, He don't care. He'll watch his wife get banged by a humongous black man. He don't give a shit. As long as, boy. James, tag him in. Let's release the game. But, it's that thing of, he literally will sit there and watch that as long as everyone's happy and everyone tells him how great a job he's doing. Oh, good for you, Tony.
I think my only issue with Tony Khan is, again, I watch football. And then what it is? I forget Anton's watch football. That's why I always keep saying me. So I apologize. I know, Aeron, you watch football as well. And I'm sure our fans too.
Lincoln, so it's debatable whether that's football or not.
Well, then you won 3-0 the other day, so, yeah. But
he's paying attention.
I watched Anton's, but nope, I'm blank here.
I'm going to go and get a sandwich or something. I'm going to make a cup of tea. Yeah.
So Tony Khan, his father basically owns Fulham Football Club. And anybody who knows anything about Fulham when his dad's taken over, it's been up, down, yo-yo, up, down, up, down. He's not paying the wages that the players want and everything.
To their credit, Fulham are doing quite well.
No, they're doing well. And like I said, he's basically
the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'll tell you that.
Oh, by far. But if you compare Fulham Football Club to AEW, it's ridiculous because he's basically the director of football and he's causing mass chaos at Fulham Football Club. And he will never let what the Young Bucks are doing at AEW, let the footballers do that at Fulham. So to me, I again, maybe because he loves wrestling more, but at the same time, it's like Fulham, people can say what they want about football, even Anton as well, from a business point of view, hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds every year from where you finish in the league, from home gates receipts, shirts.
Mate, TV rights are worth £10 billion alone every season.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how can you let the wrestlers get away with it, but yet these footballers, no. To me, it's like, well, but, so again,
the money mark, isn't he? He's the very definite. There's a term we use in the business for people who wrestlers will ultimately take advantage of. It's called a money mark. It's somebody who's got all the money in the world, but is a great big flapping mark. Tony Khan is happy to pay however much it costs to be able to say he's a promoter, to be able to say that he's around all the boys.
But shouldn't he know better? Because remember, he watched WCW back in the day. He's seen all the shoots. He's
watched it. So like anyone can watch it. That don't mean shit. He don't know. He's already in almost 4 years. It's 4 years and a couple of months, and he is yet to prove that he can run competent TV for more than a couple of weeks.
No. What I was saying is like, yes, he's watched it for years, but what I'm saying is like, he says that he knows. I think he talked about Eric Bischoff, saying about how Eric Bischoff failed in WCW. He allowed Hogan to take the piss and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. I'm like, all right, then, if you know what you shouldn't do, why didn't the same thing happen over here then? Really, he's like, you didn't learn. And like, not a bad way. I know I keep going about him. You had friggin' Arn Anderson, who was in WCW when it was good and also when it went down. So why wouldn't you listen to him? Again, Arn Anderson left WCW, went to WWF.
That's just publicity, baby. That's all that is.
Yeah, fair.
Arn Anderson, get all these old, collectible toys out front. Look at all my lovely mint condition toys I've got that I don't know how to play with. That's basically what that is. Yeah, he's got Arn Anderson, he's got Demon, but ultimately, we know that if they truly had a say on how the product's direction went, this product would be banging. It wouldn't be drawing 800,000 people max a week.
But again, not in a bad way. I blame the fans. Because supposedly there's supposed to be like 20 or 30, according to Dave Meltzer, air quotes, there's supposed to be like 20 or 30 million AEW fans around the world.
Have you watched Outside of the Ring? Dave Meltzer can't even clean his front room, so I'm not saying it's an embarrassment. The man literally lives in stacks of paper. Grow up, mate. You know what Dave Meltzer is? He's a great flapping man-child who, for some reason, must have won an award for the Scott Steiner lookalike from 1982. Mate, that's about all he's got going for him. I don't understand. The problem with Meltzer is, very much like a lot of people, being the first isn't always the best. I always say this to people: don't be first, be best.
Right. Yeah.
Always say that. Because, I'm sure there have been a multitude of people who have come before me when it comes to commentary and stuff like that. I'm not interested in being like the first commentator. I'm interested in being the best commentator. I'm not interested in being the first videographer. I'm interested in being the best. And this is the problem with a lot of this kind of stuff, with Meltzer especially. He's the first mainstream journalist of wrestling.
I thought it was Bill Apter. I thought it was Bill Apter. And tell me.
The problem with Bill Apter was everything he did was predominantly kayfabe, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's the difference.
So Bill Apter respected the business, and that's why I actually respect Bill Apter a lot more, because he was desperate to maintain the illusion of what we do as a sport, as what we do as a business. And yes, I know that is gone. What makes me laugh, though, is the biggest argument I ever hear from AEW fans when I say your brand of wrestling is bullshit or it looks ridiculous. They always say to me, well, we all know it's fake anyway. Okay, so does that mean that I can go to the cinema then when the next Avengers film comes out and go, it's actually just Robert Downey Jr. in a mask, right, mate? That's not how it works, is it?
Yeah.
I don't go to the fucking pantomime and say, oh, shut up, Aladdin, you're just some 20-year-old geezer who works at Asda in the week. That's not how that works.
Nah, but I think that's a problem.
Fucking Hamlet, wind it in, bruv. I saw you down Greg's last week. No,
that's a problem across the board, though. I think for just because it's out of the bag, and it's like you see that in WWE as well. There's stuff that just like, because they know it's a work. So it's like, let's just be as sort of, that's when you go for like the stunts. Let's be as sort of like viral or whatever as possible, because it don't matter if there's no that legitimacy to it. Main thing is it's going to get eyeballs and people are going to talk about it.
And the thing is, you have to accept it.
Sorry, Gabe, carry on, man.
No, sorry, no. I was just going to say, even though, yes, we know that Vince McMahon went in court in a deposition and said, yeah, wrestling's fake. WCW didn't have to accept it. ECW didn't have to accept it. TNA, whoever.
No.
Nobody else had to accept it. You can say, okay, well, he's fake, but we're real. You know, what we do in it.
Yeah, but they don't want, that's the thing. That now, because they're going to use the people that get the attention for those spectacular moves, even if the move just like looks
Stupid.
or just move might look good, but it's like it's blatantly cooperative. That's the thing. It's like, but the main thing is people want to talk about the moves. That's what they, and WWE is as much to blame.
No, I think it is to blame.
So you can't say, you can't say that they don't sort of still encourage that. They still got certain people like a Brock Lesnar or even some of the other guys that they've got that aren't as blatant with it.
But then what do they say about them? Oh, he's boring. He's boring.
But there you go. That's the thing. I feel like it's a generational thing now where they think that if you don't do loads and loads of moves and the most spectacular moves, you're not a very good wrestler. You'd even get like, with like LA Knight at the moment, although there's all this hype around him, there's people that are going to say he's not a good wrestler because he don't do loads of, but it's like, he's actually doing like more, obviously he's wrestling more athletically than guys back in the 70s. But it's like, he's not wrestling the way that they're wrestling now, but some of the moves he's doing are quite high impact moves. He's jumping up to the top rope and doing stuff, but it's like, he's not doing as much spot wrestling. So he's not a good wrestler. That's the thing. So it's like, he's a good character, but he's not that good a wrestler. But he is kind of like ticking the box of what really like would connect with the crowd. But there's that vocal side of it that will say that that's not a good wrestler anymore. So, and that's what AEW caught that vocal crowd that say that that's what
you're saying is AEW caught stupid people, is what you're saying.
It's an opinion. I don't agree with it. Like, I think it's
right. Like, for me, like I do absolutely see that point. But the thing as well is that frustrates me is there is actually great spot workers from 30, 40 years ago. Who's gone and seen Rollerball Rocco? Like, he could do literally everything that he's fucking mastered.
Dynamite Kid and guys like that would do more. That would stand up today.
Exactly. Tiger Mask, every single culture. You know, fucking CMLL, which has been going since what, 60s or 70s, whatever it is, 60s, I think. Like, they pretty much invented that kind of style of wrestling as both Lucha Libre stuff. It's just all of a sudden they were, so I'm not impressed by this attitude of, but AEW wrestlers, they're the height of athleticism. They're actually not. They're They're not the first to do it, and they're not the best to do it either.
No.
But one of the biggest problems, it comes down to attitude. Like, these people are like, oh, Roman Reigns is fucking boring. So apparently Jey Uso is going to take some time out, right? And that has caused an absolute stir on, the absolutely retarded hemisphere that is social media. So, of course, all the AEW fans are out saying, oh, yeah, Jey Uso's all elite, is he now? So...
like WWE is going to have that on their TV. Like, I'm quitting the promotion. I'm quitting WWE SmackDown. As for him to actually genuinely go,
I'm going to quit honestly, like, I'm making more money than God right now. I mean, arguably the best storyline ever of the last, 10, 15 years. Tell you what I'll do. I'll jump ship to all the vanilla midgets get upset if someone tweets something
But it's so blatant that that's a storyline thing. WWE giving it that window, giving that attention. It's not even like, oh, is he genuinely leaving WWE? Like, come on.
But this is how fragile the internet.
Now they are believing it's real.
Oh, no, of course they are.
Now you're buying in.
It's because they're fragile. Wrestling fans are super fragile, right? They're allowed platforms now. That's the biggest problem. If you were a fragile wrestling fan, that's all you were. You went to the shows and maybe you were a mark and you got sworn out by Ric Flair or whatever. Nowadays, everybody's got a platform. We have a platform. The difference is we actually work in the business. And I feel like, I don't want to sound smug or anything, but I feel like I'm better qualified to talk about the business than insert 300-pound fat bastard who lives in his mum's basement in, buckfuck Tennessee. I just am. You know why? Because I work for the business and I work extremely hard in the business. You don't. You just sit there and inhale Doritos all night. So sorry, Brian, don't really care about your opinion as much. And it's that thing of those people now have that platform. They can, I go on Facebook, right? I don't know if you guys do, but on my Facebook, I get algorithms. I get these random wrestling sites that I don't follow. I'm not interested. And it goes, it's suggestion for you. And one of them had this long post about how WWE's Bloodline storyline is one of the worst of all time, and everyone's just been hoodwinked by how terrible it is. And it's obviously written by an AEW fan who's extremely fragile and extremely butthurt. And ultimately, if you've got 15 minutes to write a block of text that long on Facebook, you might want to reassess your life anyway, sweetheart. But the bottom line is that these people now have a platform and people are stupider than ever that they'll believe anything that they read on the internet. I could honestly go, WrestlePlug, for instance, has 60,000 followers on Facebook, right? So I could go on there tomorrow and type out an article about how Roman Reigns fingered the duck at the local park. And you would probably get about 100,000 people sending memes in or whatever, because it's just the way it is. The biggest problem is that these idiots who don't know anything about our business still feel they're entitled to dictate how the product is played out in front of them, which is ridiculous. It would be like standing up halfway through an Avengers film and just be going like, right, pause. Okay, Spider-Man's not allowed to be dead. Come back. Not having that anymore. Spoiler alert, by the way. Just that, whatever it might be.
That's the thing. We were recently talking, weren't we? We were doing like one of our episodes about WrestleMania 6.
Yeah.
And we were talking. We haven't released that one yet. We haven't released it, but what we were talking about is that era. Like, obviously, one of the things there is like we never, because we were talking about like the Hart Foundation beating the Bolsheviks like really quickly. We're talking about like different matches from the Rockers getting counted out against the Orient Express. Like nowadays, you'd have critique about the actual finishes. Or that match was too short. I don't like count outs.
Record amount of fuck finishes though. I swear.
Yeah. But the point being, like you at that time, none of us were sitting there saying, "Oh, that should have been a pinfall. That shouldn't have they didn't get to work for very long," because we looked at it like I say, if you watch boxing, you wouldn't say, "Oh, why did Anthony Joshua knock out like what's it Hellenius in the 7th round? They should have gone to the 11th." Or it's like you've got no choice because that actually happened. That's how we looked at wrestling before. It's like you tell us the story and we'll enjoy it. So you didn't think that, I don't want to see a count out. It's like, no, you didn't want to, but that's what happened. The guy got counted out because salt in his eyes and he fell over the barricade. The Rockers lost by count. We weren't thinking, oh, you're protecting the Rockers. I look at it like that. That was the like, because Gabe was saying, "Oh, what did you thought at that time?" It's like, as a fan, when I first watched that, and I'd have been about 10 or 11, I wasn't sitting there critiquing it. I was enjoying it, and I'm like taking it in. I was upset because Rockers were one of my favorite tag teams, so them losing their match and on that, but I weren't sitting there thinking, "Oh, I didn't like the way that was booked." I didn't. Now we feel like we tell them how it should have been done. Why did you do it that way? You can't do that with UFC. You can't do that with boxing because it's legit, and you can't say, "Oh, well, that should have been happening." Yeah, maybe it should have, but it didn't, did it? Because this actually happened. So no one had any creative control over how that finished. But now, because we know somebody did decide it, we have to think of the alternative. Oh, but it would have been better if they'd done that. Or why didn't they do that? I think that's the thing. We don't enjoy the journey anymore. We don't let them take us on the journey.
But I feel that we can, I don't want to say you take the power away from the people because you can't, but you've basically given them the illusion, like you said, like Aeron said, you give them the illusion to make them say, "Okay, you know what, whatever you want, we'll give it to you." Fine. Now, like, okay, we don't care. So not in a bad way. It sounds bad. Let's say Cody has this big momentum. He has the DVD, he has everything going. Next year, WrestleMania. What do they say? You know what? Screw you, mate. You're going to lose again.
Well, that's what they did this year, didn't they? They basically told us the story. Yeah. We know it has to end the right way with the babyface getting his moment, winning for Dusty. But it's like, again, if this was real, Cody might have failed. You could have all like the happy story, the way it should go. Like, but if somebody just like wins, what can you do? Or somebody, whatever happens. They did it this time, didn't they? And that's when you can be upset and think, "I would like to see Cody win that title." But if that's the story, you've got to follow it, because otherwise you would have seen that and said, "It's predictable. I knew Cody was winning that."
That's what I'm saying.
The whole point is that there's a possibility he's not going to win it. And if he don't, then you see what the next step of the story is, what the next chapter is.
It's a difficult one because there's no clear, definitive way to improve what we watch. But one of the most demonstrative reasons that wrestling struggles is because fans have so much self-entitlement. They do.
You know who I blame? And even me as a journalist, a qualified degree, actually been to university, worked with the Guardian and everything, I blame Meltzer. Because the thing is, not in a bad way.
Definitely one of the big reasons, yeah.
Meltzer has never worked in the business, never. Aeron, if I'm wrong, tell me. I don't remember ever hearing, I don't remember ever hearing Dave Meltzer work WWF, NWA, World Class, Continental Wrestling, none of that stuff. And the thing is, I watch a lot of shoots, and I remember Al Snow was saying in one of his shoots that, why in the world do we give Dave Meltzer so much credit? Like, you have Rock, you have Austin, you have Taker, you have Flair.
Because he's the first.
No, I know, but it's like, you basically say, you know what, bun these guys. Dave, you know what you're doing. I ain't going to listen to Hogan, Stone Cold, Rock. No. You guys made the money. Don't worry about it. To me, it's backwards. It's backwards.
Fragile minds. These wrestlers don't care about working to an audience. They care far more about whether Meltzer gives them a rating or not.
All right. I remember, who was it? I remember listening to a shoot where was it? I think it was Bad News Brown. So Bad News Allen, Bad News Brown, and he talked about Ultimate Warrior was basically asking them, what should I ask against Hogan? Like, what should be my pay? He said, listen, ask Vince for $1 million and see what he says. And he said that he asked for $1 million. And I think when Warrior died, Dave Meltzer basically did like a obituary talking about how, yes, I know he's passed away and everything. However, Ultimate Warrior should not have asked Vince McMahon for $1 million in 1990 because he was not worth it. I'm like, mate, Ultimate Warrior was selling like mad. He wasn't the best wrestler, but beyond that, he was doing good.
Yeah, but he's also a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. Yeah. Like, it's not, the wrestling is important, but it's not entirely consequential to the final product of whether people watch or not.
All right, can you imagine Brian Cage, Ultimate Warrior with Hogan 1990, if that makes sense? So you had Ultimate Warrior basically doing shooting star presses, Shawn Michaels elbow, doing sharpshooter, doing powerbomb, power drive. You'd be like, what the hell is this? You'd be like, what is this? Anton, again, what would you be thinking? Would you like,
it did, no, it didn't need. Yeah, it didn't need that, did it? That period, and I think still to this day, there's still
the match.
Yeah, the match, I mean, like, if we could go back and say, like, around about the 2002 mark, isn't massively dissimilar to how wrestling is now. It started, starting to get into that point where it's more about the moves and that kind of thing. But you still had like a Hulk Hogan versus Rock match at WrestleMania that people still said was like a classic. And they've said often, like, if you turned off the sound and you just watched it, like, you take all that stuff out of it, it's like that stuff can still go down as like a lot of times. And I feel like, I used to say, like, Roman Reigns, he's not a rubbish wrestler. Like, obviously he does do good stuff, but he does big moves. Like, he does.
Yeah, he's crap, man. He doesn't do a 450 splash, so he's rubbish.
He don't do those. Yeah, he doesn't do that. But he's still, like, he's an athletic wrestler. But he tells the stories, but he just doesn't sort of overload it. But the point being,
sorry, go on. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just going to say what it I think it's always has been is it's not what you do, it's who's doing. Like, it's you. It's you that has to matter, because you could do like the most spectacular stuff and no one cares, and you don't sell tickets. No one really bothers about your match. No one raves about it. You could be doing all these spectacular moves. Yeah, if you've got over, and that comes down to you, not your moves. The moves can help you, but that's not the biggest thing. It's people investing in you for whatever reason. They take to you. They like you, your personality or whatever, something about you that and the way it's marketed. Once they care about you, then they care about your match. So it doesn't matter too much about what you do in your match. That's the point. Like, you can get a massive reaction for just doing a basic move because it's you doing that move. Even today, like, you'd get to say Stone Cold come back or The Rock. They ain't going to be doing these spectacular stuff, but people care. It's Stone Cold, it's The Rock. All they have to do is punches and people are going to go crazy for it. They'll do stomps or whatever. People will go crazy for that. They hit their rock bottom or their Stone Cold Stunner, basic move. People are going to go crazy. They care about the people. And obviously they're legends, but at the same time, even in their prime, that's what people cared about. They cared about the people, so they cared about what they did. And they had basic offense, but people cared. And even today, Roman Reigns, like, his stuff isn't totally basic, but it's not the most what I'm saying is it's not the most
intricate.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that advanced, like, stuff he's doing. He does, he doesn't do all the big dives and stuff like that, but his matches are important. He's the big player. Cody Rhodes, I think, is a good example of someone who does throw some more athletic stuff out there, but he tells a story and he's got you caring about him. So he throws a disaster kick or the springboard, like, cutter and a few, like, athletic moves, but he's not doing any, once a blue moon, he might throw a moonsault or something like that, but he's not excessively, like, using tons of spots and tons of that stuff. But when he does it, like, I feel like he does it where actually you feel like it's part of a story and he's trying to get those moves in. Like, if you see him doing it with Brock Lesnar, it's not like because Brock Lesnar doesn't look cooperative. He's having to fight for it. And I think that certain people make it, and that's when I had no problems with, like, very athletic wrestling, spot wrestling, stuff like that, but make it still look like a fight, because that's what we're supposed to be watching. Like you said before, and the analogy of going to a movie. We know it's not real. We know it's been filmed, but they've got to make you invest that you believe when they're having an argument or a fight or whatever's happening in that scene, you get engrossed in it and feel like, I can believe that that's real. These people are actually having this argument or this discussion or this emotion is coming out of these people, this love story, whatever. You believe in that scene, even though it's a work, it's being filmed. That's what wrestling should do for you. Like, okay, we know it's not real, but you have to make us think that you're trying to fight each other and that you're trying to hurt each other, trying to beat each other. Don't make it look like, okay, I'm trying to catch you for this big move and now you're going to get out of this move and everyone can see that move's coming and I'm letting you do it to me. I just think that thing, where people drop their arms And like you've hit somebody, and then you walk around with your arms down. Like, who would do that in a real fight? You imagine that. Like, you knock someone, and then your just arms are down, ready to get hit with something. You're like, bam, ready to carry on. Yeah, like put a bit of realism into it. Come on, because it's like,
you know what it is though.
Then it just takes me out of it.
The one thing I would say with that though, and people can knock me, most of these guys have never been in a real fight in their life. Because I guarantee it, if you've been in a real fight in your life, you know what to do. Like, again, people would say, "Oh, Brock Lesnar," thing, but Brock Lesnar, he carries himself and says, "Okay, if this was real, this is what I'll do." Goldberg, I can say, "Okay, yeah," but to a point, fine. But it's like a lot of these guys moves. Again, I like Christopher Daniels more because I know, I know a lot of people.
It's your buzzword there, Christopher Daniels.
Basically, Anton basically used him as an example of basically, and he exposed the business in terms of his work's very open, expose it. But like Christopher Daniels, for example, he does his moves, I like his moves. But when I watch him, I think to myself, yeah, but if this was real, I don't think you'd be able to beat me up. You know what I mean? Same thing like I said, back to what I said already originally. Most of these guys have never had a real fight in their life. They don't know how to defend themselves, so they're doing what they think what they would do, not what they actually would do.
I think they're doing almost like a video game, isn't it? It's like, oh, how cool would that be if we did this? Even if like you take out any like reality of it, it's like, how cool would that be?
But we grew up with video games. We grew up with video games, but we know how to legitimately fight. If someone came to us, basically, we know, okay, yeah, we know how to, block a punch, whatever. I did 6 weeks of army training. Again, I'm not the best, but if someone's coming towards them, coming at me with a knife, I know how to disarm them. I admit, in the heat of the moment, it will be a different story, but I know legitimately how to do it. These guys, it's like, okay, you talked about the characters, and obviously Austin and Rock. Austin came back after 20 odd years, and he was literally beating down a younger, you could say stronger, more athletic Kevin Owens. Nobody said nothing. Nobody.
But that's also a testament to Kevin Owens. I think he's got elements of it where a bit more realism to his work.
Of course.
Like, he's a guy that will do athletic stuff. He's a big guy who sort of does, sentons off the top and stuff, rolling cannonballs. Like, he's athletic, but he does put some element in there like, I'm fighting.
No, of course.
And I think that's a testament to him. I think he's one of the better ones.
Oh yeah.
That, again, like I said, I don't think it's nobody should do like advanced moves. Don't do athletic moves. Keep it simple. Keep it basic. I'm just saying, do that stuff. Make it look like it's part of a fight. Don't just do it to do it.
Which is what they did. If it was AEW, now can you imagine? Stone Cold's going in there. They expect Stone Cold to be doing elbows on the top ropes. Suplex off the top rope, landing right in the middle. All that. Nah. Sorry, Aaron. I'm just going on.
Oh, that's fine. I've enjoyed the conversation about it. To be honest, I get frustrated. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy, particularly on the AEW. And nobody's saying WWE is perfect, by the way. It has a load of problems itself.
Yeah,
it's that thing of this hypocrisy of we're all about real wrestling, and yet your biggest draw is still the guy who cuts the best promos, MJF.
MJF, even Chris. Look, who's their first champion? Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
No, again, I like Jericho. Don't get me wrong, but why would you make a WWE guy your first champion? Because
he can draw and the others.
No, we know that. But for the AEW guys, wouldn't you make your Kenny Omega? Wouldn't you make one of your guys?
Well, if he was that good, yeah, he would have won the title from the offset or someone of his ilk. If you look at the overwhelming majority of champions in that company have been, people. Yeah. Even Kenny Omega, by the way, he made his star in Japan, not in AEW. He became a star in Japan. So this sort of attitude of like, yeah, we're building stars. Like Darby Allin's a huge star. No, he fucking isn't.
Thank you.
No, he is not. Darby Allin is not a star. Darby Allin does not draw even close to him. And I can guarantee you, be even lower down the totem pole, he wasn't sucking off his fucking weird old gothic granddad Sting. Who at this point needs to fucking retire.
No. Leave Sting alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Go on, Gabe. Fight for
Leave Sting alone.
Fight for Sting.
Look.
Do you know what? He's empowered this nonsense for too long now. You've burnt through your cachet. If I swear to God, if I can hear Tony Schiavone from the upper tier go, I will actually.
Gabe, let me just. Aaron called him me gothic granddad. Gabe, come on.
Look,
come on. Fight back.
Sting.
Well,
Thank you, Anton. Sting I admit TNA's thing for me was like, okay, you know what? It's your last hurrah. You've done all right.
Joker Sting.
No. Before that.
T-shirt Sting.
Before that, the Joker's thing, I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Hence why I don't like Seth. But he did his bit. He put over Bobby Roode. He tried. He did AJ. Fine. He did that. He's in AEW. Again, I like Jeff Hardy. Well, Jeff Hardy was a star before, so yeah. But the thing is, I get why he's there. My thing is, okay, you know what? If you're gonna be with Darby, be more manager. Have the odd match there. I'm fine with that. But like, him basically what? And again, this is me saying it, people. I love Sting, but him basically beating down Brian Cage, was it 3 weeks in a row, and still beating him in the tag match? Brian Cage, move through you. Yes, I know.
For like a month, and they put him in that like hardcore like tables match, and he went through like the table twice or something, and just got straight back up, didn't even sell it. And I was like, there is no way Sting would have done that back in the old.
No, but I think wasn't that the one, wasn't it, with Sammy Guevara? I think he was supposed to move. Yeah. And he didn't move.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like when he first debuted, like when like when he first came in, they put him in this match. I think it might have been like a 6-man tag. It was
like, it with Team Taz? Was it like early going?
Yeah, like he got smacked, he got obliterated and just wouldn't sell. And I was just like, wow, you really have spent way too much time around the AEW boys, haven't you? Like,
but you know what it is? It's like what you said.
Sting has done nothing of note.
No, he hasn't.
Is interesting in his career since he got to AEW. Tell me something that he's done that's really special that matches up with everything he did before that.
Okay, fine. No.
But he wouldn't do though, would he? At this stage in his career, it is kind of just like a token appearance of a legend. And I think I don't, like you said, like I do think they use him sparingly. Like he's not there every week now, and he doesn't wrestle all the time that he appears. So they are using him sparingly. I mean, he's obviously he hasn't got that much he can contribute physically, but they use him. I think if you're going to use him, like the argument whether you should still use him to this point, if you're going to use him, I think they use him as best you could.
But that's the problem, though. They don't. Sounds bad. Sting, bless you, Sting, love you, mate. But
he dream matches, or he should be retired. Simple as that. He's wrestling in dream matches, nothing else. Come on, tell me, justify, because I'm going to run down what All In has got so far. And All In has Sting tagging with Darby Allin against the Mongrel Embassy, AR Fox, and Swerve Strickland.
Who? I'm joking.
AR Fox, by the way, love AR Fox. Huge fan of him on the American Indies, but that's all he is. He's a great indie wrestler. Swerve Strickland, big fan of his. Great promo, actually. Think he's got a lot more potential. But again, just like these are like with Prince Nana at ringside. You know.
No good.
That's what you're giving us. And by the way, it's a tag team coffin match.
Coffin, yeah.
Yeah, as in who gets COVID first? I have no idea. Fucking useless. That's your use of Sting for me, is it? I'm going to go to Wembley to see Sting with his emo godson and the Mongrel Embassy, because I'm not calling them the Mogul Embassy. Ain't nothing mogul about you fucking fools. AR Fox and Swerve Strickland, who I like as individual wrestlers, who could, under the right guys and the right people, have a credible fucking career in this company. Like Swerve Strickland was great as a tag team champion with Keith Lee, I thought. Like that stuff. So I thought that was absolutely fine. But it's that thing of like, this is fucking Sting. And you got him running around with the special needs bus and a coffin.
You said it. But again, blame Tony Khan for that one. Because again, not a bad way. But you know what the problem is though? It sounds bad. You see when you use you talk about like even Swerve Strickland and everything. I know what he looks like. I know who he is. But to me, they all, and it sounds bad, it's like old black joke. They all look the same. They all look the same. They all talk the same. They all wrestle the same. They all the same. To me, like I said, there's no, as I just said before, there's nothing special about them.
There's nothing too discernible about them. You mean?
No, nothing. There's nothing about it. Let's say, for example, they said, well, you got Miro versus Sting. I'm like, okay, that's something different. I expect Sting to lose, but it's Sting being Sting. You have Miro, this giant killer, was he the Antichrist? What is he now? Is he the Antichrist still? Or
Redeemer.
Redeemer, sorry. The Redeemer. Gosh, the Redeemer.
Redeemer of what?
I love that. Aaron's just shaking his head when I said that.
What the fuck does that mean, the Redeemer? Like, what are you redeeming? Like, you ain't gonna, there's no redemption for this product. That's what you mean, mate. Like, you ain't redeeming nothing here.
Maybe he's the Redeemer from Rusev, innit? He's from his Rusev character. Because like he said, he was basically buried in WWE. He came here basically to be himself and be world champ, as he says, isn't it?
Who was buried in WWE?
Miro Rusev. He said he was buried in WWE.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was undefeated for like a year and a half. What a load of shit. Not to wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania. Oh, poor baby.
What?
You got to come out in a freaking tank against John Cena.
But think about that.
Bang fucking Lana every day.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you complaining about, you giant fucking tart?
And he's rich as well. Rich man as well.
Yeah, he earned good fucking money. And he's probably earning even more money, and he doesn't do fuck all from what I can tell.
Rusev, if you want to change places with Aeron would literally change with you right now if he could.
Yo, I would, yeah, fucking right. Hey, you give me a Russian tank and a woman that hot every day of the week. Thank you. I'll take a shellacking. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, the ludicrous. So the AEW All In now has 5 matches. We have MJF versus Adam Cole as the main event for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. We have Darby Allin and Sting versus the Mongrels in a tag team coffin match. We have Hikaru Shida defending the Women's Championship. Yes, Hikaru Shida is Women's Champion again. She'll be defending it against Toni Storm, Saraya, and to be determined, which should, I believe, be either Britt Baker or the Bunny. Work that one out for yourself. And we have FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. That should be interesting.
Gonna get to see them live and in person.
I'm going to be, I've already seen.
I'm not going to lie to you, it sounds boring. It sounds, the card, I'll be honest, it sounds boring already.
No, let's not forget on the pre-show, we will have Aussie Open defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against the main event of the entire evening, MJF and Adam Cole as a tag team. Because WrestleMania 17 would have been so much more impactful if, you know, Too Cool had defended the tag titles against Rock and Austin in the pre-show, right? On Sunday Night Heat. You fucking retard, Tony Khan. Fuck off. You piece of shit. Like, that's the kind of stuff that winds me up. Because do I want to see Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole? Absolutely. Make me work for that as a fan. Make me earn that. Put that on the main event of the biggest Ring of Honor pay-per-view you've ever run, even though it's not Ring of Honor. It's just AEW feeder, which is what it is. Let's not fucking act like it is Ring of Honor. It's not. But it's that thing of, yeah, Brett, can you imagine back in the day, any of these huge main events? What's the main event of WrestleMania this year? Well, you know, we're thinking maybe Undertaker versus Edge. Awesome. Right, let's stick them against, who have we got? Oh, I'll tell you what, Viking Raiders, that'd be good. Let's stick them in that in a pre-show. What? Like, who does that? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. And I'm not saying Aussie Open is shit, by the way. I fucking love Aussie Open. Mark Davis and Carl Fletcher deserve so much for this business. They work so fucking hard. But come on. Like, and also the audacity of it. The show starts at 5 and is scheduled to finish at around 11.
What?
Yeah.
Woo.
Do you know what?
Boy.
They've moved the start time back to, so they've moved the doors were scheduled to open at about 4:30, I believe. They moved it back an hour. Doors will now open at 3:30. And I think that's because Tony Khan is scared of Coliseum.
Yeah.
So he's decided to try and undercut us because he saw Joel Redman and Bullet and thought, oh shit, real wrestlers. We don't have any of those. How do we circumvent that? Open the doors early so nobody goes to Coliseum instead. I know what your game is, you little prick. By the way, I will pay tenfold to see Jack Selstrom versus Warren Banks before I ever paid good money to see the Young Fucks. Get out of here.
You heard it, Tony. You heard him.
So, what do we think about AEW All In, Anton? You geared up? You ready to go?
Of course he is.
And at the moment, it's more a case of like you're probably like on each side, you're seeing somebody that you like.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like, FTR. It'd be good to see them.
Yeah,
it's against the Young Bucks, so like it's more like, okay, I get to see FTR. Yeah.
I swear to God, if the Young Bucks go over, I'm leaving.
I reckon they will, you know. I reckon they will for some reason. I keep thinking they're going to win it.
I will. I'll be like, yo, see you later, guys. I'm going to get home early. Happy days. Because I might be working the next day and all. I'm a busy man. I ain't got time to be watching children.
What if it's a semi-main event? So it's like 10 p.m. and you got one more match left.
Well, sorry, MJF. Well, I've seen MJF.
Got to take a stand.
They've already spunked it by putting them on the pre-show. What's the allure? Where's the allure? MJF,
well, yeah, but then they're not against each other. But I think because part.
You know what? One thing I'll say to that. I do disagree if they're in a match, but if I remember correctly, wasn't it for years they had heat before the pay-per-views and Stone Cold and Vince and everything would do their bit to like kind
do
of
an
sell
angle
out
of some sort. Yeah, I
the,
look at
the
it more.
actual pay-per-view, isn't that
Would they wrestle each other?
But they're not wrestling each other, are they? They're teaming. So it's kind of like it's a continuation of their angle.
Aren't they?
No,
No,
I
yeah.
know, but it's like it's a continuation of their
But
angle.
if you want them to come out and do a promo segment, that fine, not a problem. Having them wrestle, and you bearing in mind it's for the Ring of Honor tag titles. That's going like 25 minutes. You know it is.
Oh boy,
you know it is.
Yeah,
and it will be a great match. It will be world class. Why can't you sell that as a main event on its own?
True.
I mean, I assume that they're going to go in as tag team champions, or they're going to foul and they'll have something to add the heat. It almost is like an angle. You look at, I mean, obviously,
no way they are winning the Ring of Honor tag titles and then facing each other for the world.
But I'll play sort of.
But does that not make the product weaker by saying that, like, oh, these are the two best wrestlers in the world, according to us. They're going to be in the main event, but they lost to a couple of Australian dudes.
But it's a tag team. At the end of the day, it puts your tag team up.
Oh, yeah, because AEW has really shown its passion towards tag team wrestling, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, they should do that. I've always said that. And the thing is, if it's a miscue, it's a miscue, isn't it? It's not a knock on Adam Cole and MJF, like as basically they're facing an experienced tag team. If they screw up.
I love all four guys as well. I don't want people thinking I'm knocking them because are amazing.
I don't have such a big issue with it because I also look, and I booked it myself before. Like, so sometimes you do like Rumble Wrestling. You're going to have wrestlers wrestle a match and then come back later. So you've seen them already, but it doesn't affect. Sometimes it's
due respect, and like it's a cop some serious hate, I reckon. But I'm comparing MJF and Adam Cole to Sid Manelli and Rishi Ghosh. I'm just not doing that. Like, and also,
I think the thing is, people are still going to care.
Also, by the way, Sid Manelli, infinitely better worker than most people in AEW. There, I said it. Like, you know, the bottom line is that like that's like comparing squares to extreme hexagon.
No, I think the actual principle of it, because like I say, sometimes it's obviously we're on the British circuit. Sometimes it's establishing, but a lot of the crowds might like. Again, I'm going to use Rumble as an example because people already know sort of the guys that they're going to see sometimes, Tate Mayfairs or Sid or whoever, but they're still going to be up massively for them in the main event, even though they've seen them earlier in the card. And I think obviously these are. To the AEW
300 people, not 80,000.
No, I get your point, but what I'm saying, I look at that as like it's something. It's not like okay, we've just watched Adam Cole versus MJF on the Ring of Honor pre-show. Now we're getting to see it again in the main event. It's like this is a further in their angle. They're going to team up. They're not going to come to blows unless they have a little split at the end, which is an angle to build. It's almost like having an angle in the show.
What's going to happen, don't we?
Yeah, which we assume.
They're going to lose because of egos, and then that fuels.
And then and give them some heat for their match, which is going to be fine because again, you're going to sit there and you're going to get into it. Like hopefully they'll because MJF's involved.
Because it'll be 5 hours before the main event.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't.
Fucking hours, and the excuse from AEW, wow, it's good value for money. £27 or whatever it is, including the £500 booking fees that Ticketmaster. Thank you very much for Ticketmaster, you cretins. It's that thing of great, like it's just. I find it insufferable. Why does this need to be 5 hours long? By the way, 5 fucking hours.
Then their pay-per-views are like that, aren't they? Because they don't do them so often. Like if
that's not.
They're often like 4 hours or so. No. But that's most. I mean, obviously, some people are going to just be casual, just going to come for wrestling. But a lot of people are going to be aware of AEW.
Booking a 5-hour fucking show at Medway, do you? Doesn't need to. Do you want to referee for 5 solid hours?
But to be fair, if you had 80,000 people there, I'm sure you want to keep them there as long as I say we want to keep them there as long as you can, but you want to keep them there as long as you can. So your shirts, your food, your drinks.
What was WWE? What was Clash at the Castle like from that perspective?
That was really good. So you had 3 pre-show matches, and then you had about a 3-hour pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So what you could do with a pre-show is you could but the thing is, right, their pre-show was exactly that, a pre-show. Where it was like, here's some of the here's the Street Profits. Here's, to be fair, Austin Theory was on it, which was pretty cool. Like, that was nice to see. Like they had, I think they had Bianca Belair out there actually doing something. Like they had a few sort of like, little things.
Yeah.
And, but it wasn't okay. People will say, yeah, this pre-show is much better because it's Ring of Honor and all that. It's like, I don't care. And also, I'm probably not going to see it because I'm not finishing Coliseum until about 3:30.
I'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll probably, to be fair, the show starts at 5, so we might just get it. It depends. Like if everyone gets in before us, which would be happy days, because then we ain't got a queue and shit. Actually, going to Coliseum might benefit us more because ultimately we won't have to be stood in a queue surrounded by sweaty neckbeards who have never had sex in their entire lives.
And remember, there's train tracks up there as well. There's train tracks, so yeah.
What, for the underground as well?
Yep.
How the fuck are we supposed to get there?
We're walking it.
No, basically, it's like
to Wembley, am I?
basically what it is this. From what I've checked from work, basically what it is like you can get there, but it's like significant train delays, and it's like trains aren't running as frequent. So it's like, yeah, but we'll get there. It's just we'll be late for sure.
Luckily, we might miss all the crap and just like see the main event. Happy days.
Yeah.
If someone says to me, main event starts at 9, awesome. Let's go to the fucking bar and get wrecked.
That reminds me. I used to watch like boxing events as a kid. Like, you go to bed. My dad would wake me up like early hours of the morning for the Mike Tyson, Frank Bruno, whatever. Like you come down. Okay, I'll come down and watch that now.
Jose Aldo, right, versus fucking Conor McGregor. Do you remember when they made a big deal out of that? The actual fight started at 7 in the morning. The pay-per-view started at 3. Like, so I was just like, oh, great. I get to see, I don't know, insert hillbilly here, number 3, like creator wrestler number 5 versus someone like, who are all these people? I don't care. I came here to see names. Like, do you know what? Think of all the great boxing fights. Do you remember any of the undercard?
No, I never used to watch. That's the thing. Like, I literally, like, you'd find out when the actual main event's due to like start comes to the ring, and that's when you tune in. That's how I'd watch boxing. I never used to watch all the other undercard fights. It didn't.
Do you know what? If Logan Paul was in this main event, I'd watch it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was gonna reveal something. I screw it up all. Obviously, you know the work that I do. I can't really say online what I do, but it's quite high security, in the country. But there was apparently supposed to be news of either Anthony Joshua or, I know you're gonna laugh, Harry frigging Kane being at like their big celebrity.
What for AEW?
Yeah, because Harry Kane's gone to Bayern Munich, he can't now.
By the way, congratulations, Harry Kane. Welcome to a football club that can win trophies.
Very true. And then obviously I was told that Anthony Joshua, I was told that it's 50-50. And I thought, okay, fair enough, but not a bad way. Anthony Joshua's kind of popularity now is.
What happened to the other? Who was the other boxer they had in? Do you remember him? I can't remember his name now. He's fucking working for Progress. I've forgotten his name. The Olympic boxer who came in for a little bit.
Andy Ogogo. Andy Ogogo.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like.
But again, nothing against Andy Ogogo, but even like me who watches boxing, I'm sure you guys do as well. He was iffy. He got his eye done in, and then he was done basically after that. So, but again, if they can get Eddie Joshua.
Have you seen Tate Mayfair's offering him out, by the way?
Has he?
There you go. Tate Mayfair's wrestled him at Progress. And in the build up to it, he was going on about how he was going to knock him out. He was so good. So honestly, some of the best stuff. Also, Tate Mayfair's right now is on fire on Twitter. So they're building to Team Mayfair's versus Team Simon Miller at Progress. And Mayfair's is like, so there's like leaks of him sending voice notes to like Joe Lando, begging him to join his team. It's really, really well done. I really recommend people check it out. Like, you know what? Infinitely more entertaining than anything I've seen on Dynamite in the last 4 years. Yeah, it is what it is. I gotta be honest, I have zero interest in AEW All In. I know I have a ticket. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't. I'm going for the crack. I'm going for the boys.
Yeah, same.
I honestly could give a shit about this card.
Well, again, I know Anton probably doesn't care. And I'm sure you.
It's Sting!
It's Sting for me. Sting, CM Punk.
I'm going to boo him just to annoy you.
Yeah, I mean, potentially you're going to get CM Punk.
Jarrett wrestles. I'm going to eviscerate him.
You should be getting CM Punk Samoa Joe.
That's Jericho.
Like,
maybe. Is Jericho?
Are you up for that?
I'm worried. I don't think that. I've got a sneaking suspicion they might not use CM Punk.
Well, it sounds like they're building on Collision, like between Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's challenged him to fight him there for that real world championship.
Yeah.
So that I don't see how that's not going to be on the card. So I assume we're getting Samoa Joe.
That should be the main event.
What about Ryback? I know they talk about Ryback.
I really like Ryback. I do.
I liked.
I feel bad for him. I feel bad for him. I'll be honest.
Wrestler, as a personality who's completely lost his marbles, I love him.
Oh yeah,
entertaining. He's do you know what he does? Like a daily radio show, like which you can watch, and it's actually really interesting to listen to. One thing I like about him, do you know what? He's universally hated by wrestling fans, and it's because he doesn't respect marks.
No.
And it's really funny because back in the day, not respecting marks used to be one of the coolest things you could do as a wrestler. But now it's like, oh, he doesn't respect my opinions. He hasn't read my fan fiction on WWE Raw. Why would he? Why would he care about you, you fucking losers? These delusional fans who think they're as big a star as the wrestlers that they watch on TV. It's hilarious to me.
Also, he did curse out Vince McMahon, saying that he's a pedophile and all this stuff like that. He deserves to drop dead. And
I mean, it's kind of sometimes very good, sometimes very shit.
But you know what? If he shows up, I'll be happy. Just because it'll piss off the AEW fans.
Ryback versus Goldberg, main event of Wembley. Yes, please.
Anton, I'll be doing this. Like Vince Russo, where are you, Vince?
Goldberg comes out, I'm popping my nuts off. Seriously, I'm gonna go ballistic, mate. I'm gonna fucking. I've got good news for you. My mate Toby and his missus have got tickets next to us, and I'm gonna teabag the fuck out of Toby if Goldberg comes out because he hates Goldberg. By the way, he hates Jade Cargill. If she comes out, I'm teabagging him again because I think she's like. Do you know why he hates Jade Cargill? Because she actually looks like a star. That's why.
I thought she's quitting wrestling. Air quotes.
Yeah, we'll see about that. There's way too much money being thrown out.
Of course. And not
also,
in a bad way.
For my money, the only interesting women's wrestler I've seen in AEW in the last couple of years.
You know what? I'll be honest, Anton, maybe, obviously watch more than I do. Women's wrestlers, I don't care about them. Apart from Jade, really. I don't really care. It's like, yeah. I don't know. It's like,
Sorry, who was the one you do care about?
Jade.
I said Jade.
Oh, you like Jade as well.
Okay.
What about Paige? You going to pop for Soraya? Wow. Okay.
Again, nothing personal. It's just
nothing.
No.
Personal. He says until we find out they used to have a relationship with her or something.
Mate, if I had a relationship, I'd probably have all my fingers. No, I didn't. But it's just that thing of where.
There.
No, like I said, I don't dislike it. I mean, again, I've been WAW. I know the family. I think.
Surely you're most excited about Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's Championship.
Who?
Made you take your headphones off earlier. It's like,
yeah, what? I'm like, who? Then you have to, I was going to ask this question. You guys will obviously know better than I do. Who's the woman now that apparently everyone hates in AEW? There's a story going on at the moment. Not Ventriloquist. What's her name again? Really bad of her name. Britt Baker hates her. Everyone's now cursing her, saying about how no, somebody else. I thought you would know because it's been on the news for the last week or so.
Has it?
But huh?
Has it? I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
It's been for the last week. I think she did a shoot or some sort of interview. You have the women's wrestling. I think she's gone now. But it was Thunder Rosa at one point, and there's another woman.
There was the black women's wrestler as well who got let go. That fucking
Fina. Oh.
No, not Athena. The one that smokes with Tony Khan. What's her name again?
Yeah, spoke up about Tony Khan on Twitter, and that caused all kinds of mayhem.
Not Kira Hogg. It's not Kira Hogg. Oh my gosh. Sorry for Hogg. I have to check that myself. Let's just check. Go on, Anton, speak.
I have no idea.
Go on, Anton, speak. Come on, pull my...
About this card so far, is there anything that you're particularly excited about?
No match really sort of stands out to me.
You're not buzzed for it.
I'm not. No, not in that set.
He's waiting for CM Punk versus Samoa Joe.
Lufisto.
I think at the moment,
that's her name. Lufisto. That's her name.
Lufisto. Has she even ever been in AEW?
Yeah, I'm saying. I don't know. You know better than me, but apparently everyone's hating her.
Women's wrestler actually, Lufisto. I get why they don't like her because she can actually wrestle.
Yeah. Sorry, but on topic of the cards, I'm similar to you guys. I'm going because it's we're going to go. So it's first actual I always find it a bit funny because I've never actually gone to a WWE event or anything like that. The first non-British wrestling show I'm ever going to go to is an AEW one.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going because as the group thing, and it's just just to experience it. Nothing down oh God, I can't wait for this particular match, but I'm sure I'm going to enjoy being there and seeing it. But if you have CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, that at the moment would be the match that most appeals, as in that should be a really, really good match to see live. Obviously, I like CM Punk. I like Samoa Joe. Seeing them two both against each other. I say FTR, MJF. I like those guys. So that's seeing them wrestle, seeing them live. That'd be good. I'm sure MJF and Adam Cole is going to be a good story.
Christian Cage?
I don't think he's been announced yet, has he?
Yeah, but you got Christian Cage saying he's going to be there, former NWA, champion.
Oh, yeah. That's that guy who's not as famous as Edge, right?
That's when we go for the loo break. Aeron, that's
Well, you guys could go. I'll sit there. I'll be like this.
He'll be there. Oh,
Mate, I'm going to be having legit, right? I've got us aisle seats for that exact reason, because I'm going to be up and down, and obviously because we want our boy Gabe here to be comfortable and have access whenever he needs it and stuff like that, which is why I got him. But ultimately, I will be going into the concourse a number of times, because there is no way I'm sitting there for 5 hours solid watching a bunch of marks flip around. Yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah. I don't know, like, if there's going to be any absolute match that's like, I can't wait to see that match.
Who's buying an I was there shirt? I bet Anton does. I bet
that?
An AEW I was there t-shirt. I bet.
No, if you know Anton,
homemade. I'll be making drawing up my own shirt. It's okay.
Look here, I will say this right now. I know Anton for this guy for 10 years plus. I've been Wembley Stadium quite a few times. When he sees the price of the food, mate, his eyes are gonna pop. His eyes are gonna pop.
And also, 5 hours, mate, we better get fucking locked and loaded with food before we go.
Yeah, gonna need.
Fucking hell, like, it is disgraceful. I go to all the NFL games and it's fucking appalling. That is appalling. Yeah, I hope you're ready to pay north of £10 for a burger and chips that is literally lukewarm, bro.
You know what we could do? We can go to the Bobby Moore, technically social club. It's literally across the stadium. Go there before the game.
Yeah,
there it is. I'm thinking of football.
Because all the marks are going to go in Box Park, which, by the way, is an overpriced, overhyped pile of shit.
Oh yeah.
At least, admittedly, the food is much better than it is in the stadium, but still, it's overpriced.
What can I say? Is there a Box Park in Wembley?
Yeah, there's one right next to it now.
Oh, well, okay. Fair.
I've been for a while. I've been there for a few years now.
Okay, Anton, you definitely gonna like it. Literally, in that place, literally a burger and chips, 16, 17 £. But to be fair, the burgers are nice.
Smuggle sandwiches.
Excuse me?
I got smuggle sandwiches in.
Lunchbox, didn't you? I can see it now. Yeah.
You know what? I can imagine that.
For old Anton.
You're gonna get us kicked out, mate. You're gonna get kicked out.
What? Just for being uncool?
You know what?
Bring your own food in, are you?
No, because I was gonna say when I went for football games, literally I saw a guy actually get like cookies and his own beer taken out his bag by the security. It's like, you can't bring in. Sorry, Anton.
I've seen the people doing coke in the toilets, but they're worried apparently about someone bringing some digestives in.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Come on. State of this fucking country, honestly. Would you like to know what Lufisto said that had everyone up in arms? I got a list of the things that she said here.
Yes, please.
So after a prominently placed sign helped bring AEW Women's Division back into the discourse last week, independent wrestling veteran Lufisto tweeted some critical comments based on her experience working an Elevation taping in April of last year. That's why I never saw her, because nobody with a brain watches that. Apparently, she set up her appearance on Elevation with QT Marshall. It was supposed to be mainly an interview / tryout for a coaching position. She said there was some confusion about medical testing and paperwork. The Fisto is from Canada, and obviously they have a little bit more of a stringent visa restriction there when it comes to Canadians working in America. But everything got sorted out in time for her to be at the April the 6th show in Boston. She was greeted at the venue by Sean Dean. No idea what that is. Then left to wait in the women's locker room. It's there that she said hi to the bunny, who allegedly responded, "What are you doing here?" Bunny was seated with Ruby Soho and Tony Storm in the locker room. Jade Cargill was also there, seated separately. None of them spoke to her. Mercedes Martinez, apparently, who is someone she knew from outside AEW, was said to be happy to see her. She later says Thunder Rosa was there and no one was speaking to her whatsoever. And this correlates with a lot of reports. Thunder Rosa not very popular in AEW, apparently. Lufisto's priority was to talk to Tony Khan about a coaching position, but she never met him. She says she had nice initial conversations with Mark Henry, Christian Cage, and Dustin Rhodes. There was confusion about her match, who was working it, if she'd do her entrance, etc. At one point while waiting, she came upon Rhodes and Soho and believes they were talking about her. The Fistu claims Rhodes' demeanor towards her. I assume she means Brandy Rhodes, not Cody. I can't imagine Cody just walking around going, that Fistu's a fucking mark, isn't he? Also, I'm pretty sure he was back in WWE at this point anyway. She claims that Rhodes' demeanor towards her changed after a conversation with Soho with his... Oh, with his...
Yeah, it was Dustin. It was Dustin.
Yeah, it's Dustin she's talking about. His next words being to her, "So all French-Canadian people are fucking assholes, eh?"
Wow.
Which is a little bit abrupt, Dustin, I have to say. Her match ended up being with Bunny and Emi Sakura against Soho, Anna Jay, and Sky Blue. She's got blue, by the way, goddamn. Lufisto was going to start with blue, so she tried to talk to her about what they were going to do, but didn't get much from her. In the interview, Lufisto theorizes the reason was because either she's bland as a person or she's not allowed to talk. Nothing major goes wrong during the match, but there's some confusion about what Lufisto should do around the finish. When she got backstage afterwards, Rhodes was waiting for her to say she was terrible. She claims she had to press him to explain what issues he had, which were mostly about selling more for the contracted talent. She asked some male talent she knew for feedback on her match, but no one had watched it. One of them tells her no one watches the matches at AEW. The unnamed person told her wrestlers pretty much do what we want. She apparently told her that wrestlers pretty much do what they want. I'm not saying that in a good way. Another got back to Lufisto later after watching her match to say it wasn't bad and she did what she could with limited time. Lufisto described what she observed backstage as chaotic and remembers watching people sit in the same area while talking shit about each other and thinking, I'm with fucking children. You're not the only person who's come out with that comment recently, are you, CM Punk? After the appearance, Lufisto had issues getting paid. Those were apparently due to more confusion about her work visa and other paperwork. She's barely heard from Marshall or others she dealt with since appearing. Other issues Lufisto says she witnessed or has heard about backstage AEW include women politicking to protect their positions and setting others up to look bad in the ring. Lufisto didn't interact with Britt Baker during her visit, but says Baker is one person she's been told does those things. And men who aren't invested in women's wrestling having power over the decision. She also generally noted that there wasn't a defined power structure at the company. Yeah, a lot to say about the state of it. Any thoughts on that? Because to be honest, as much as it probably rings true, it just seemed like a lot of whinging to me for the most part.
I'll say this bit quickly, and I'll leave it to Anton for the rest. Who the hell were half of these female wrestlers? Who are you to say? Again, I've heard of Lufisto before. I've heard her name, probably from CCW or something like that. Years ago, I've heard her name from somewhere.
She's quite well referred. Like she worked in Mexico. She did AAA. Like, you know, she's done good stuff. Yeah. We did a watch along for her on the Wrestle blog. Actually, she's really good.
Okay. Again, I say I don't really know her, but from the information I heard, she's been like 20 years. Been, like I said, been around all over the world and everything. Again, I'm not going to say okay because you've been a wrestler longer. You know she's better than them. But I'm sure she has the experience. I'm sure she's seen things and know things that half of these dimwits don't know. And every week I keep hearing AEW women are thinking this, AEW women are thinking that. I'm like, you guys don't even wrestle. You're not that great wrestlers anyway. You ain't been around the business for that long anyway. Who are you to say anything? I know people are going to say, oh, Gabe, I sound misogynist. I don't sound misogynist, but I'm going to say this. Be grateful that this fool's giving you a paycheck. Shut your mouth. Half you're there because your husbands are there or because you're banging somebody there. Be grateful, get better, and that's it. Simple. Because again, if it was a man, I said the same thing. Seth Rollins, shut your mouth. We know Becky's fisting you up the bum and everything. All right, shut up and sit down. Enough. Same thing.
Yeah, but what about Big Cass or Big Bill now?
I like Big Bill.
Why don't you tell him to shut up?
What do you mean?
You said he spoke up and he was right.
He spoke up to Vince McMahon.
This is one of Gabe's favorite actions.
Okay. Basically what it was, say the truth. Mm-hmm. Kaz basically apparently from his shoot, saying was basically saying he was getting criticism from Vince McMahon for quite a while. He had a segment basically where it was like I think it was a midget. And basically what they said to him is go in there, big boot him once, that's it, and just kind of stand over him. For some reason, he thought, you know what, I'm going to big boot him, punch him 20 times in the head, put my hands up, get him up again, and big boot him again. Mm-hmm. Again, it did look stupid. I admit watching it did look stupid. And you know what? I give the guy credit because Vince McMahon was in the back. Hold on. McMahon was in the back. And
I'm going to quote you in a second.
He's basically saying, like, you know, what you doing sort of thing. And, you know, it's basically, like, you know, belittling Kaz. Kaz manned up and said, you know, who the hell do you think you are? You know, let's fight. You know what I mean?
Shut your mouth, take your check. Wasn't that your advice? Shut your mouth. Who are you?
What I would say.
Who are you, Big Bill?
But you know the difference is though. You know the difference is though. Forgive me, most of these wrestlers are pussies. Forgive my language.
What you're saying is he's exempt from that because he had the balls to say it to the boss.
Yes. And the thing is, I
get that. Like,
he was wrong. Look, he was wrong. This is me saying it. He was
wrong to beat up a midget.
No, he was wrong basically to say, you know what, I want to beat up Vince McMahon. He's an old man. And basically, Triple H basically had to, again, he said it.
But
he said,
like, come on,
Triple H
this man fancies himself against his entire roster, I guarantee.
Look, we know that. Basically, really, Cassidy just slapped him in the face and go sit down, old man. But the thing is, we know already, if he did that, he's done.
You know, I heard about Vince McMahon trying to amateur wrestle Kurt Angle in the Isle of England. Like, the man is literally batshit insane. Yeah. Do you know how long it took me to splice in Vince McMahon highlights on last week's podcast? Like, and get away with a copyright for it as well. Like, holy cow.
Like I said, him doing that, he stood up for himself. He was wrong, but at least he had the guts basically to challenge Vince McMahon. He was going to get fired, and he said,
right now, shut your mouth.
No. Sorry, mate. This, to me, is a one and off.
Mm-hmm. What do you reckon,
He's a one and off.
Do you reckon Big Bill should shut his mouth and collect his paycheck in that position?
Well, I think he needs to listen to Gabe. If LaFisto has to shut her mouth and take her check,
I didn't say
so should Big Bill.
No, I didn't say LaFisto. I said all the others. I didn't say LaFisto.
Oh, okay. The others got to shut their mouth.
So basically,
but LaFisto's all right.
Yeah, she's cool.
LaFisto can mouth off, and so can Big Bill. But the rest, shut their mouth and take their checks.
No, okay. But honestly, again, you guys have been in wrestling. You guys know the business and everything. Don't you think a lot of the wrestlers now, they're cowards? They don't want to say nothing. It's like if they say anything, I don't want to, I don't want to get fired. I don't want to rock the boat and everything. If you don't believe something, stand up for yourself.
But you got the whole thing going on with AEW and Punk and those guys. Then everyone's having.
No. But okay.
I mean, in some ways, it creates discord. Sometimes you do have to speak up.
Shut your mouth. Let you
take your check, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes, Bill, stop moaning.
I think the point being with all of those cases, like you need to handle it in the correct way. Big Bill should have handled it correctly, like
by shutting his mouth
and taking a check.
You've killed Casper. You killed him. Basically, look, I gave the man credit.
We're getting Gabe a t-shirt out of this if we keep going.
Shut your mouth. Look. Take your check.
You've got to wear that t-shirt.
Then in the next thing he said is they're all pussies. Like, well, hold on. They got to shut their mouth and take the check.
But the thing is, speak up. Look, all right, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be as real as honest as it is. Yeah. If it was both for you, and you really didn't believe in what Vince was telling you, and you went away, basically did your own thing, would you stand up to Vince and say, "No, it's Vince. I was wrong. I was wrong, but I stand by it." Or would you basically be pussy and say, "Vince, yeah, you know what? Really, I didn't agree with, but you know what? All right, fine, whatever. I just do."
I think the thing is in that situation, honestly, if you go against what you're told and it backfires, then you have to take that. You have to take the chewing because
even though Kaz said he bashed him, cussed him off and everything, made him look forward for everybody. Kaz basically said he couldn't stand there. Okay, take it. You know what I mean? But we weren't there. I'm saying if he was treated like shit by his boss and spoken to in a certain way, I don't. But if it wasn't that way, if he's just being told you should have done, you're told not to do or told what to do, and then you've gone out and done something different and it went really bad, you should take that on the chin and say, because like Bruce Pritchard said about like The Rock and Triple H, go off script, but you need to make it work. If you go off script and it goes wrong, then you're going to get like you're thinking, I don't want to go off script. But if you go off script and it actually gets a good reaction and it actually works, then people are going to say, okay, that was the right thing to do. And they did it every week.
So he went off script and it didn't work. So he has to take the chewing. But I agree with you. Like, again, none of us was there to say exactly how Vince McMahon approached him or whatever. If he's talking to Vince McMahon doesn't have the right to speak to people like that and just talk down to them. It should be handled in a professional way on all sides. So if there's an issue with it,
shut your mouth.
And pay the checks. Pay the checks.
Put it this way. It was so heated that even Triple H had to get involved and stop it. That's how heated it was. Yeah. So I give Kaz credit. I give him credit for it, mate. He stood up for himself. Good for you.
And what's he doing now?
He's an AEW making half $1 million a year, mate. Good on you.
Mate. He's now in your favorite promotion.
It's all public record. Apparently he's making $500,000. It's like, good for you.
AEW fans justify me, Big Bill. Like, seeing as you're fucking full of all the arts. Honestly, AEW fans, you'd think they'd invented the universe. They seem to have an answer for everything. Who's God then? Oh, it's Kenny Omega. Shut up, mate. Like, it's just...
Mate, put me as an enhancement talent, but give me $350,000 a year. I'm good, mate. I'm good.
You'll shut your mouth and take your check.
Answer, you know me. You know what.
He works for the government, mate. He's got no problem shutting his mouth and taking money. No problem, has he? Fucking Tony Blair's aide over there.
No way. Again, he's done good things, but also he's done some really questionable things.
Has he really?
Oh, yes, for sure. I won't defend him in everything.
Yeah, other than that, not much news other than the fact that AEW, and there's a lot of people whinging a lot. There's a huge spate of injuries going on in WWE, which is a bit of a shame. Somebody released a list the other day. Apparently Roman Reigns is injured as well. Nothing serious, but
Is Biggie retired now officially or no?
I haven't heard that he's retired yet. I hope he hasn't, but then to be honest, I just hope he has a healthy life, because that's more important than wrestling on a broken fucking neck every week. Fuck that noise. That's something I always respected Stone Cold for. When he said he was done, he was done. Like, he did have, admittedly, the match with Kevin Owens, but extremely safe for the most part. And by the way, still much more entertaining than most matches I've ever seen on Dynamite. Oh yeah, Dolph Ziggler made a brief appearance on Being the Elite. There he goes. There he goes. Boy, Dolph Ziggler, shut your mouth.
I used to like Dolph Ziggler back in the day. No, Anton? I used to like him.
His entire career is shut his mouth and collects his paycheck. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler made a brief appearance because his brother is Ryan Nemeth. You can tell that because they're both extremely boring and uncharismatic. And oh, sorry. Do you know what Dolph Ziggler, right? Has all the Dolph Ziggler is like Mr. Perfect if he was shit.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. Like, he's like, he just mimics.
No, he's an upgraded version of Billy Gunn. That's why I was with us.
Oh, that's harsh.
Anton, did I not say it for years? For years, I used to say he reminds me of Billy Gunn, but just better.
We have Smoking Guns 2024, please.
Oh,
what a gimmick that was. Bart and Billy. Phenomenal stuff. Yeah, what do we think about Dolph Ziggler appearing on an AEW sponsored YouTube channel? And actually, he does say, to his credit, it's probably one of the funniest and most entertaining things I've ever seen him do. Ryan Nemeth goes over to him and goes, "Oh, I'm going to have to delete this." He's like, "Nah, leave it in. WWE doesn't care." Would you
off the radar, isn't he?
Would you have a problem with Dolph Ziggler appearing on an opponent's?
Of course he would. Of course he would.
I mean, if you look at I know they didn't have appearances, but you look at that Cody Rhodes documentary that came out recently, they fully sort of acknowledged AEW on that as well. So I don't think there's like this.
Jericho was on the Broken Skull sessions.
Yeah, I don't think there's this like, let's not speak of it, let's not have any, so I don't think it's I don't think they're as protected as they used to be on that kind of stuff.
They were trying to get WWE talent on there to boost the ratings.
Yeah, I don't think WWE necessarily are that sort of, are going to be that concerned about it. It's, at the end of the day, like, it's not one of their key players involved with the competition. It's not going to like make a big detriment to them, and they seem a little bit more easygoing with that kind of thing, I think, nowadays.
Yes, because they believe that they're not a competitor. I guarantee you, if they did, you didn't let it.
Yeah, they'd probably close ranks more if they did feel, AEW was snapping up all the big names and feeling like a big competitor to them.
We forgot to mention something. Even though I don't really care, it doesn't really bother me in that. I keep seeing it all over the internet. Congratulations, Buddy Murphy. You're getting married to, what's her name again?
Rhea Ripley.
There we go.
You lucky bastard.
Congratulations, mate. You're getting married. Everybody cares. Yay. Thank you. Yeah.
That seemed really disingenuous.
No, you know what it is?
Didn't buy that for a second.
I keep seeing it over. I'm like, okay. It's like, let him get married first.
Rhea Ripley's a star, by the way.
No, I know that, but it's like, because of what she is now.
Buddy Murphy, as much as I love him as a wrestler and I really liked him in WWE, he is not a star. No, he's not. I'm not going to try and blag that.
No, I was going to say, I'm waiting for it.
Lovely guy. Seen him work a number of times. Really cool guy. Fantastic worker. By the way, can do everything that all these fucking marks can do, but somehow doesn't get TV time like the rest of them do.
Well, to be fair, he's built like a brick. I mean, he's
actually built like he looks like a wrestler, as opposed to the Young Bucks who look like they should be serving me and Greg's. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I saw? I saw a comment. Bless him. I saw a comment say Buddy Murphy's the most luckiest guy in the world. He's had both Alexa Bliss and Rhea Ripley. I'm like, fair play. You know what? Yeah, like if you'd had Liv Morgan on that list, I would have personally tried to kill him myself. Yeah, it is what it is. Right, I've got a list here to end our podcast. It'll only be a quick one. So, Wrestling Inc. listed a number of dream matches, right, that they believe would genuinely be terrible. So I want you to very quickly tell me whether you think these matches would be incredible or shit. Are you game?
Yep. Go for it.
All right. So we start with Hulk Hogan versus John Cena. Yay or no?
I'd want to see it. It wouldn't be a great match, but it'd be eventful. Are we talking right now as well? Like as of now?
Basically, I think if they were both in their prime.
Oh, in the prime, definitely.
Oh yeah,
100%. Even in say like 2007, 2008.
I hope so, because there's quite a few wrestlers on this list that are dead. If I recognize.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, to see it nowadays.
But say I'm not feeling the second one. I can tell you that much. So, yeah. What do you think, Gabe? You'd be like to see?
Yeah. I would
I'd like to see it once, but nothing more. I think.
No. For a Clash of the Titans, like a big,
It's very much like match. I've seen it is the modern Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. If that had happened in 2006, 2007, while Hogan was still like, obviously he was on when he had those matches with Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton, it's like the match would have been carried.
2005.
The match would have been carried by the atmosphere, I think, and the monumental.
SummerSlam 2005 main event. Both individuals wrestled at SummerSlam 1989 in individual matches. Tells you the longevity does exist. So the second match on this list is Roddy Piper versus CM Punk.
No.
I'd like to see that.
The build would be great.
Promos definitely 100%. Yeah, match would have been okay, but I think I'd have watched, but it's not one. It wouldn't put that like top of the list of dream matches I'd want to see. But yeah, build wise, definitely the promos and stuff have been awesome.
Yeah, no, I just want to see the build. Jake the Snake Roberts versus Randy Orton.
I'd watch it. But again, I wouldn't really consider it a match. Like,
even promo wise, like Orton's okay, nothing blockbuster.
No, it'd been Jake that would carry
when
that.
he was the cocky little shitbag in Evolution. That's when I felt like he was at his peak as a character. But for me, Jake the Snake Roberts, promo wise.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't consider that like
also,
a major.
If we're talking like Prime Roberts and Prime Orton, like when he was young, think about the amount of coke that would have been inhaled in that.
True.
Those two would have been absolutely dripping in it. Ric Flair versus MJF. Fucking get behind. I'll have some of that. Thank you very much.
Yes. On both promos and match, build up and match would have been phenomenal. Definitely.
Even Gabe's. Look at him. Come on.
Yeah.
That's fucking money. That is. All right. Sting versus John Cena.
Again, I would have watched it, but it's not something I think of as like a big dream match.
Sorry, Sting. I'm ranting on that one.
Like, you wouldn't have watched it.
No, I would have watched it, but it's not.
I wouldn't consider it a huge dream match.
I'll tell you what, Surfer Sting versus John Cena, I might entertain.
Okay, mate.
Yeah.
But Pro Sting, not a chance.
No.
Also, can you imagine if they had like the best of both worlds on commentary as well? It's like, shut the fuck up. I would actually kill myself. Ultimate Warrior versus Goldberg.
That would have been a match to see, like in terms. That would have been an intriguing, like, okay, who's going to win that?
Right back.
It would have been a car crash in terms of actual wrestling.
I'd watch it because it would be terrible and I'd love it.
Yeah, that's my.
Do you remember Warrior versus Hogan when they revisited it?
Yes, if it had been on those, it'd have been a car crash.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant versus The Undertaker.
Yeah. For significance, definitely. Like, it would have been a great.
Andre the Giant.
And Andre in his prime. Yeah, I mean, if Andre was in his
prime, a rubbish wrestler.
Who's that? Andre.
Yeah, I've never seen anything of him where I thought that was pretty good.
Have you seen him when he was very?
Because he's an attraction. I'll tell you what, he's really sad. Actually, watching Andre the Giant when he won the title in WWF, and then he, had the famous, WrestleMania 3 and all that stuff. Like, he's like could barely move at that point. I actually feel really bad for him. Which WrestleMania is it where he gets chewed out by Bobby Heenan and then turns on him? Yeah, because I was going to say, I was pretty sure that's the one you guys have just watched.
Yeah.
At that point, he can't even move. It's really sad.
He's dying.
But have you seen him like in like the 70s and stuff like that? He could actually move.
I watched a match from, I think it's USWA, where he tagged with Junkyard Dog and somebody else versus Ted DiBiase's team, and he was okay in that. But even then,
but I think that's still probably like the 80s as he started to deteriorate. Right. Like there is a time that I've seen some footage of him, and he could actually like move around. It was a lot lighter. Yeah, he dropped kick and stuff like that. He had that aura because he was still massive. He just wasn't as, I think just aura-wise.
Hit me up with some links.
Even if you had like early WrestleMania, like just before, like about WrestleMania 1 or whatever, him and the Undertaker would for a spectacle, not for a wrestling match, but so it does feel like a dream match, like it would, even if it had happened in like 87, 88, Andre versus the Undertaker, it's Phenom versus it. I think it would have had an appeal. But if you could have picked Andre in his actual prime when he could move and he was pretty nimble, and Undertaker, Undertaker could work, like not doing the zombie sort of shtick. Yeah.
Okay, which Taker then, Anton?
Like Linda.
Well, no, I mean, if you want the best actual wrestling match, you're going to take you're going to take him from the period.
American Badass?
No, I'd say with like Mankind after he started working.
Okay.
That more athletic.
Purple Haze one, purple and black one. I'm thinking of, or
when he was Ministry of Darkness and he was proper like
before or just before then.
Well, I mean, those matches like with Mankind, when he's doing a rapid punch when he first started doing that kind of thing, or
the Phantom one. Phantom, I'm thinking of.
No, it was after. It was just after. It was 96.
Oh.
96
No, I know.
Switched.
But I know it's like they have like a name for it. Like Phantom. Yeah.
But that was after like 96. It was the last. 96 was the last time he wore it when he fought Bret Hart.
Yeah.
In the Royal Rumble, and then later on, like now, he was just wearing he wasn't wearing the mask, and then he had the feud with Mankind.
Yeah.
And then he started to like really like change his style. He was doing like top rope clothesline, like waiting for him there. He's doing all that rapid punching. He was actually like
good match.
Wrestling more. Like he switched from being like the undead, always sort of just go down, sit up. You still do elements of it, but it wasn't. So I think having him like when he actually started, once he got away from the plodding, just stalking people, and started doing that version versus like a younger Andre, like wrestling quality would be good, but spectacle as well.
They would go.
Want for that.
He's drifting. I can see it. Prime NWA versus Prime DX.
No. No.
Who's in it? Who's in it?
That's what I'm going to ask you. Yeah.
Who we talking?
No, you said Prime, so Prime would have been beginning it.
So Hogan, Hall, Nash.
Yeah, most people are saying
6-man
Hall versus Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Oh, so outside.
No, because Triple H in his prime, so Prime DX Triple H,
Prime
he was okay, but he wasn't great.
So Triple H was Prime, no.
No.
He was certainly growing, but he was not at the level.
So. And again, X-Pac, what fan? Billy Gunn, Yeah,
and it's like, and also which kind of in like Prime NWO, like all of a sudden it's like, what do we have like when there's 50 of them versus the 4 members of DX? Like,
could
get out of hand.
I think that's a bit of a vague one. I mean,
it
had its interest, but
if you could say Prime NWO, the beginning where you had Hogan, Nash, the 3. Yeah. But then let's say you had Prime.
Was it Ted DiBiase? Wasn't he the 4th guy to join?
Giant.
Yeah. The Giant.
Giant.
It was Giant, then Ted.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say the first 3, but then you have Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg ish.
Against Stevie Ray and the gang.
But the thing
Vincent. Was it Horace Hogan?
Oh gosh.
IRS. Wall Street,
Wall Street. Hogan, mate. Oh, you've unlocked my darkest, deepest recesses with that there. On the right, moving on to the next one because fuck that. Brock Lesnar versus Batista.
Yeah, not my biggest one, but I would like to have seen that.
All the fucking roids.
Wait, suave Batista with the turtleneck and Melina on one leg, Maria on the other leg. Big, nice combat boots against muscled up, crazy.
Oh, remember when they did the angle that Batista raped Melina, like insinuated it? Oh, fucking hell! They did some shit around there.
What are you bringing up with after?
Can we not just put that in there with Ultimate Warrior and the other guy that they mentioned earlier? I forgot his name, or Roy Bucket.
Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg. Can we
no.
I think it'd be a little bit. I think Brock would have kept it a bit more on track, but it would have been a bit of a car crash.
Well, I reckon Brock
Lesnar
would still kill.
It'd have been a spectacle though. It would have been. It would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, come on, man.
I say Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 33 is still one of my favorite finisher parades I've ever seen in wrestling. Like, because it's just no bullshit. It's like 4 minutes of car crash and it's done. And you know what? That's what every match at AEW should be like. And then I can go home at a reasonable hour. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Goldberg.
Yeah, I would want it to sit.
Yeah,
for sure. 98 Stone Cold versus Goldberg. Yeah.
Goldberg will kill him. Goldberg killed him. Goldberg probably broke his neck.
He's terrible.
Nah,
No,
Goldberg
no,
broke his neck.
but for the crowd, for the
Oh
reaction.
yeah, like
of
the
it,
reactions would be
Yeah.
amazing. But,
that's
like,
what you'd been watching
match,
it for. It would have felt like a monumental clash.
What are they gonna do?
All
Like,
right. Who's to win though? Who's to win?
Austin.
Would be a tough one.
Well, over Goldberg.
Goldberg in '98.
Saying Goldberg drew more than Austin, are you?
No, I think Austin was definitely better.
The spear and jackhammer against the stunner.
What are we talking about if it was presented as a legitimate fight? Because ultimately, if we're looking for realism, Goldberg should have the edge on him. But, you know.
All right. What was more devastating? The jackhammer?
You know what? For me, right, Austin, infinitely bigger star than Goldberg.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
But what's more devastating? The jackhammer or the stunner?
What's more iconic?
What's more devastating?
Yeah, I think if you're putting like,
yeah, but the thing is, right, it depends who's taking the stunner as well. If it's Vince McMahon, and obviously the jackhammer is going to beat the shit out of it. But the whole point of the stunner is it's supposed to knock you out. It could break your neck. Jackhammer, not so much. It's just a flat back bump, isn't it? It's just a suplex that's inverted. That's all it is.
It's Goldberg, isn't it? Goldberg.
You finish your shit, you know. Also, you haven't even got. Yo, I'll take Monty Brown's pounce over Goldberg spear every day. Pounce looks more real for me.
Yeah,
you ever tried to actually spear a man in a fight? Nah, you end up breaking wrists.
Yeah,
whereas Pounce, I can legitimately fucking hit someone with a shoulder block and send them flying.
True.
Let's have Monty Brown versus Goldberg. That's the real draw.
Dream match.
Not too many left. Sting versus The Undertaker.
Yeah,
you know what I'm doing?
I think that's been hyped.
Fucking that, right? I'm going to build it up. Everyone's going to lose their shit, and then I'm going to deliberately fuck everyone over by sending out Surfer Sting.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Just for
versus Mean Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, versus one member of the Twin Towers. Fuck them. Fuck, you don't get none of your darkness, none of your stupid spooky shit. Just fucking wrestling. Go on, Ads.
Right. Which take are we going to get? Are we getting the American Badass one or the what was he? Big Evil. Big Evil one. We getting that one?
I love Big Evil. I thought he was great.
Anton, I mean, you didn't like Big Evil, did you?
No, I did like him. He turned heel. Yeah, when he turned heel as the biker, American Badass, like that was.
That's Big Evil. It's a different one.
I'm gonna make a big mistake.
So you had American Badass like 2000, 2001, then you had 2002, 3.
No, but that's when he first turned heel. That's what I'm saying. When he turned heel, when he cut his hair, beat Rob Van Dam.
He made Jim Ross kiss his ass.
Hardcore. Yeah, that version of him, like I thought, like he really invigorated himself. That's what I'm saying.
And like he's like, what you think you're above me? Because I've been kissing Vince. Like, it was kind of cool because it was like They was video, man. That was for me one of Undertaker's all-time great promos. Was that when he turned heel on JR and forced him to kiss Vince McMahon's ass.
And Vince is all lapping it up like you.
Vince is like riding it like, it's fucking good shit, mate. That's entertainment. Yeah, Tony Khan don't get it. Finally on this list is Hulk Hogan versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, 100%. I would like to see that.
Dreadful match. Dreadful.
Again, I think for me though, the dream match is like Hogan Warrior stuff like that. Like it was a memorable match. Hogan Rock. I'd put them in those sort of brackets. That they were classics, not for the wrestling skill.
Scott Hall when he was drunk.
But that's because he rejected Hogan that year, didn't he? If he'd have fought him that year, if he'd have wanted to fight him that year, I still feel like
Austin abducting Scott Hall though and taping him up in a fridge. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
that was good shit.
Yeah, I would have liked to see it. I think if it had happened when it was potentially going to happen, like in 2006, 2005, like for the significance, still would have been worth seeing. It would have been a rubbish match, but it would have been Hogan versus Austin. It's almost like, from a historical point of view, seeing these two clash. If you could have got them at a time, 98 Hogan versus Austin, when it's Hollywood Hogan and Stone Cold's at his peak. If you could get Hulk Hogan in the 80s versus Stone Cold in the 90s, like a total dream match, then I still think it depends. It depends how they meshed. Because Austin, obviously, again, Hogan in the 80s probably, Austin in the 90s. I don't.
But remember, even Hogan in the 90s, though, he didn't lose that often.
But I think Stone Cold would have beat, like, if it had actually been booked in the 90s, I think Stone Cold would have won. It's hard to say because at one point, like, nobody beat Hulk Hogan.
No.
But
Austin did. Even Austin is prime.
But Austin would lose. Yeah, Austin would lose. So, but I think it's a shame that match never happened because they were so they are like you said, like the Mount Rushmore for American wrestling. It's like the fact that those two never fought.
The Rock and Hogan, they're Mount Rushmore.
That's what I mean. That's how they presented it. And I remember at that point, I hadn't read like that Austin turned down fighting Hogan. I remember watching that angle where The Rock come out and say about the 2 best ever. And straight away in my head, I was like, no, Austin. Like, Austin and Hogan, if you're going to say, like, as much as I like The Rock, I felt like Austin was the heir apparent to Hulk Hogan. Well, it felt like they should be the 2.
To be fair, if we're going by what it is today, people will say that because obviously Rock's now Dwayne Johnson, he's a big star. He is bigger than Stone Cold. People say today,
but within the wrestling industry and it stood there, like it felt to me when he said like we're going to fight to see who is the best ever, like the greatest ever. And it's like, well, like I say, to me, it's Hogan Austin as the head.
Aeron, Rock or Stone Cold?
What is the greatest all time?
Yeah.
What in like just like are they the 2? Why are we saying they're the 2 greatest of all time?
No, I'm saying let's say these 2 are the greatest of all time. Which one out of these 2 is the greatest of all time? Rock or Austin?
They're generally based on their like who they were, not like just
who they were. Who they were.
Austin.
Okay, that's fine.
He was hoping for a Rock there.
No, I actually wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
I actually wasn't.
He drew more money, made more money, was a better champion as well. Had a better ground of. I actually think had a better body.
Even though Austin's great again, his reigns weren't that great. Even Anton can back me from this, Anton. His reigns, be honest, his first reign he had was shambolic.
But I think one of the things to speak for Austin is that when he was like top of the industry and like you said, his reign, there was no like he worked with only Vince.
It wasn't about work rate either, was it?
No.
The whole point of it being champion was that he was the anti-conformist.
Yeah, of course.
And him and Vince are the ones that made it catch fire. Like when The Rock was like Austin had already like hit that big time, and then you started having supporting players like Foley and people like that. So Austin, like on his own, the reigns weren't that great, but in '98, like there was no real like top wrestlers under Undertaker.
Were The Rock's reigns that good?
No, I don't think.
Come on.
He had one, probably 2000.
No, please tell me which one.
He probably had in 2000, but when he won for Triple H and lost to Kurt Angle, that's probably his best reign. But that's one. Yeah. Austin, what about his 2001 reign in the Alliance?
That's honestly his most underrated.
That's probably his best reign.
That's his most underrated.
When he won it from The Rock to Kurt Angle, and then obviously won it back quickly. That's probably that's a reign that's as good as like The Rock's one for 2000.
What, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, but
March to September.
Both those guys.
March to September.
Held it that long.
Rock's was April to October.
Okay, fair enough.
Is this when he won the back
match? Yeah. No, King of the Ring.
Yes, even worse. June to October.
Yeah, I know.
Get out of here.
Ben, get in the bed. You know what, Gabe? Take your paycheck and shut up.
Anton knows me. I'm being a contrarian. So I have to. I can't, again, I thought you were going to say Rock.
Do you know what? When I think about it, actually, neither Rock or Austin had really iconic.
No,
he didn't.
It wasn't about the actual title
like the best title run of all time.
Lengthwise.
I think the combination of it, I'd say probably Hogan for like that first reign because it was in the advent of like the pay-per-views and the TV.
How many good matches did he have? Do we count the fact that the quality of matches as well?
But then who's like San Martino's were probably not good matches for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Kurt Angle's run as champion, he had incredible matches.
But if you're counting like one individual reign, like what was his real epic title reign?
The longest one he ever had was the first one. That was the longest one he ever had.
Like Brock Lesnar, like for instance, there's an argument to be made Roman Reigns in the last. I know he's had it for 3 years, but look at the quality of matches he's had in all that time. Like,
but remember, look at the wrestlers who he's been against.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
I mean, I think it depends what you're looking for because if you look at like Hogan's reign, you got like WrestleMania 3 with Andre the Giant, which was massive.
Also, don't forget
matches with Savage, Orndorff, people like that.
Stone Cold never had the WWE title. Rock did, so that's one that Rock has.
That's such a cheat.
Even in the WWF, Austin couldn't win the WWE title. He couldn't even win it. At least Rock did it, twice? Sorry, Anton. Sorry, mate.
Has he never held it, the WCW?
No. Go on, Anton.
Trying to think back to the Alliance angle.
He didn't.
He didn't, no. It was Booker T was the champ, then lost like Kurt Angle and Rock. And Jericho. All that time, it was those guys fighting for it.
Who was the WCW champion going into? Do you remember they did the Undisputed, when Jericho wins the Undisputed title event?
Rock. That was Rock, yeah.
Rock. He was the world champion then. he was the world champion.
They dropped WCW at that point into the world, yeah.
Yeah, so Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Anton.
really
Stone
remember
Cold.
him beating- I remember him
Sorry,
beating
like-
SummerSlam. That was quite good, actually. Good
Oh
match.
yeah. Well, like I said, people, I'm trying to give Rock a little upper edge here. I'm saying you can
I
say
don't
Stone
think
Cold.
he needs it, if I'm being honest. I think he's
Yeah.
doing all right.
No, but from wrestling. I'm not from movies. From wrestling, I'm saying.
I think he had an amazing career, to be honest.
Yeah, was it 4 or 5 years? That
biggest problems was the fact that like Austin wasn't about having good matches. Austin was about great moments, the beer truck, and the good. For me, the Zamboni is my favorite when he comes out in that giant Zamboni, and then jumps and then it's like JR with a famous call of Austin got McMahon. He goes over the top of everyone. That's good shit.
I think for me with Austin, one thing I'll say about him, again, and this is what I say to people who apparently are historians watch wrestling. I can name countless matches in WCW. That was amazing. Anton will probably agree, and you would agree. Most people don't even know it. Before he done his necking, I was thinking, man, Austin's actually moving. It's like he's moving, he's bumping. Was it him versus Taker? What was it, Anton? What pay-per-view was it? When Taker was WWF champion in '97. What was the pay-per-view? In Your House.
Cold Day in Hell.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, damn, Austin's like bumping. He's doing it. It's like, damn, look at that.
Oh yeah, when he even with the Stone Cold.
Even with
persona.
Brett. Even with Brett.
Until the match with Owen, where he like the neck, then he he was still very effective.
Ostensibly destroyed his career. He did. Like he never had. Like he had good matches, but he never had anything world class after that. Like as far as an actual working match. Like
I think he did. I think like the Kurt Angle match in
Benoit.
2001.
Benoit match was good.
Kurt Angle in 2001. I think that match was.
Yeah.
I think he still had I think he found his groove again in 2001.
Yeah.
And the match like with The Rock.
Yeah, to be fair, that being said, I was going to say wrestling thing was.
Yeah, I think that year, because when he first came back.
That's the greatest main event in wrestling history, in my opinion.
Better than 15?
Oh, yeah, come on.
No, Mania 38. What are you on about? No, for me, but like my personal favorite all-time main event is Rock versus Austin from WrestleMania 17. I think that's like the pinnacle of build for how that is the benchmark for how to build a main event, in my opinion. What'd you say?
What?
What's that? 15.
You think the 15 one's better there?
You know what it was? I think Rock was WWF champion. He was going in there, and it's like I really believe he's going to win it. I believe Rock might just do it. When I watched 17, I was thinking, Rock's going to lose it. And obviously, but then again, Austin.
I didn't. I going in 17. I thought that was 50-50. Like
really.
15, yeah, I thought Austin's definitely going to beat The Rock for it. 17, you felt like, is this Rock's time now?
I thought 15 was far more obvious.
Yeah, 17 really felt like, okay, going into that, like I could see Rock beating Austin, even though it's in Texas, like, because it's like, is this Rock's now to be established as like he is? Because they really sold that, like Aeron said, with the build up there was Austin saying, I need to beat you, Rock, and stuff like that. It's like, if Rock beats him, like, and he's saying that it solidifies him, it's like, I'm the best.
19 was great just for the emotion of it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the match is actually quite good.
I still think 17.
Yeah, Austin went through the night before and all the medicals.
Yeah, it was still a good match.
That good match was actually really good.
Yeah, I think 17 just had no 15. No 15.
It's a gobshite, isn't it? It's like having a giant.
I'm a wind-up guy.
Tell me about it. Honestly. 15. Also, 15 had, mate. Hey, you can't top Bossman being hung from the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Come on.
But being KO and Bart Gunn.
Yeah. Shane McMahon beat there. You had Triple H turn heel. You had what was it?
15 did have the most underrated moment in the build-up to it I've ever seen. Do you remember when where I'm not sure if it was after or before. Remember when Austin drove the monster truck into the arena?
Before.
Was that before?
Yeah.
Like, and then Shane McMahon attacked him from behind with the.
That was after. That was
before?
Backlash.
I'm thinking of the one with the what do you call it? When he booked the beer truck. I'm thinking of that one. Sorry.
The beer truck was just before WrestleMania, and I think that one
over the Rock's Lincoln contest.
Yeah, that was after. That was the build up for Backlash. Yeah, when they were doing eulogy.
In that one, I remember thinking Rock's going to lose that. I remember thinking, okay, he will definitely lose this one. But for some reason,
I actually thought their Backlash match was better than the WrestleMania 15.
It was.
I did, yeah.
I think that was better. Like,
the eulogy was amazing, wasn't it? Do you remember the bridge as well when they fought on the bridge and he threw him off the bridge?
Yeah. And retaliation for Yeah,
Rock's got his title. He's got the titles, and he said, "If you don't turn up, I'm going to throw it in the thing." Yeah. And then as Austin said, he goes, "Oh, what do we have here? The biggest piece of trailer contract." He attacks him with a fishing rod. It's amazing shit. That is, mate. Wrestling.
See, Rock is good, man. When you say
he is,
Rock Austin in my greatest rivalry of all time for sheer, like, people will say, yeah, Vince versus Austin, and that's more iconic. But if you think about each moment, beer truck, monster truck, Zamboni, eulogy, like all these different things, they all part of that Austin Rock thing. Like, they're all, like, every single moment was like a world-class moment.
Mary had a little lamb, piss on Mary, piss on you.
Didn't need, 2 or 3 years of build for them. They could just go out there and deliver in a month. They could deliver what most people couldn't deliver in a year.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it even felt like when I remember their Hell in a Cell, the 6-man Hell in a Cell, when they squared off, when they squared off there, when they squared off in the Rumble, it's just, it's there, it's Austin Rock, and then bam, trading. It just felt like, even though they'd fought so many times, that's still a big match to see Austin Rock. I agree. That's probably that's right up there.
They were very clever at building it at WrestleMania 17. Like, they had the Hell in a Cell in December of 2000. Then at the Rumble as well, they meet each other in the Rumble again.
Yeah.
It's like
you got that little, like, the crowd, just the Rumble. Oh, they're going to face each other, and just the crowd going crazy.
More money in every sense. That's like, for me, the pinnacle of what wrestling should be. And I don't think anything nowadays will get near that. It just won't.
15.
No, 15.
15 sucks.
15. That's my new t-shirt. 15.
By the way, you two going through old pay-per-views and not inviting me to fucking watch them with you. I want in. If when you start doing like the Attitude Era,
we'll get you on 15 for sure. You'll have to start.
I want 15. Give me 15.
Also, I'll say this: even when Rock, again, it's probably a low shot, but it's not meant to be. Austin came in with a t-shirt. Even in Rock's worst day, he was still professional. He was still focused. He allowed nothing to get him.
Royal Rumble 1999.
It was part of the gimmick, mate. It was part of the gimmick.
Gabe likes these tracks.
I actually like it. So I actually like it.
He had surgery, mate. That's why.
I used to have a big poster of when he used to have the tracksuit with the belt and everything. Yeah, man, I liked it.
That wasn't actually part of the gimmick. You know why he wore that? Because he had surgery.
No. Don't.
Cover his ears.
No. That's literally Gabe's answer when he can't win an argument.
And you know what the thing is as well? One thing I say with Rock of Austin, Rock knew how to dress best. Rock always dressed better than Austin, no matter what. Austin wore those friggin' tight shorts and everything.
That's the whole point, you idiot, because Austin's a redneck. That's the whole point.
Even a redneck.
That's because the Rock is this.
He dressed up in a suit for Vince. He dressed in a suit for Vince with his cap.
And he beat up his own. Look, imagine he beat up his own boss. He beat up his own boss.
So would a Big Bill if he could. At least he went ahead and did it. Big Bill just talked about it.
Talk about stating the frickin' obvious. Like, the Rock dressed better than Austin. Yeah, he fucking should do. Austin's apparently farming chickens for a living, whereas the Rock is the corporate champion who's a multi-millionaire. That's the whole point of the storyline. If Austin turns up well dressed, we're like, nobody. The whole point of Austin is he's relatable. That's why everyone hated the Rock. Because there was no relation to him whatsoever at that time. It's like, look, he's fucking, like, look at him, he's fucking chiseled, he's a fucking, whereas like Austin's whole gimmick was that he was like blue collar, Texas redneck. I drive a pickup truck.
And who would you want to be? Rock or Rock in his chiseled look, back, great sideburns, has a great wife who's divorced now, bit of a nutcase now, great physique, great suits and everything.
Who's the nutcase you're on about? Who's this?
Rock's the only man that I know who married and divorced somebody, and she's his best friend and owns half of his all these companies. He's the only man that I know to ever let his ex-wife do that. Most guys I know, you divorce, see you later.
I thought when you get divorced, you normally give half over anyway.
Yeah, but still. Or you had Austin, who was a woman beater, beat up Deborah, beat up Jeannie.
Oh, so now we're allowed to
beat up Blossom,
beat
up Blossom.
So when The Rock was wearing a tracksuit because he had big old titties, apparently that's not acceptable. Now we can start fucking throwing the shoot out there.
Rock never beat up no woman. Rock has always been a ladies' man. He's always been a gentleman.
Yeah,
he's always been faithful. He's always been faithful to his wife, mate. He's always been faithful to his wife. I hear stories about Austin all the time. Even Anton can't defend him. He can't defend him. He can't. Anton defend him.
I have to ask you a question. What's your point? I don't get it. What's the point here?
I'm basically trying to say Rock is better than Austin, so I'm trying to find every conceivable thing to.
Is he?
Rock never cheated his wife. Rock has always been a loyal
Kenny
husband.
Omega's a nice person. Does that make him better than Stone Cold Steve? And exactly that.
No, I genuinely didn't hear. Who?
Exactly that. You know, mate, Shawn Michaels, right? One of the greatest of all time, right? Even you must admit, definitely a top 10 all-time legend.
Shawn Michaels, for me, the fact that he was on Playgirl, to me, rules him out of any kind of list of. Sorry, mate.
So basically, you're a sexist, is what I mean.
No, I'm not a sexist. I'm just saying. You went on that. See ya.
I just love the fact that you've stooped to the level of like this is
Michael
always.
He knows me.
Bad as the NWA Heavyweight Championship.
I'm pitching. Like I said,
moving the goalposts.
Look,
We've proven without a shadow of a doubt that both of them are legends, right?
No.
And most of us are happy that both of them interacted. Him, though, he's like, nah, fuck that. The Rock's better than Austin. And I'll go as far as like, Austin beat up his wife. Therefore, The Rock has to be better. But he'll go to any lengths.
I'm a journalist. I have to fight.
That's not journalism. That's just being a cunt. I mean, that's journalism in Daily Mail, mate.
Yeah.
Writing up your hit piece about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, nobody's saying Austin is a good person.
Anton, defend Stone Cold. Go and defend him. Defend him.
I don't need to.
There we go. That's what I thought.
Defend him for what? Like, nobody's defending him. That's the weird thing about your argument, because nobody's actually defending Austin. We're just stating how good he was as a wrestler. Nobody's like Shawn Michaels is a piece of shit. Hulk Hogan was a piece of shit, by the way. One of the worst people backstage. Ultimate Warrior.
Bret Hart cheated on his wife.
When did you do that?
Read his book. Yeah, and you know he did.
He legitimately admits to cheating on his wife.
His book's all about it.
His book.
I know, and you know full well what he said.
I've got his book.
You know
What page? What page is that, mate? What page is that?
You find it.
Is that the Bible you just picked up?
Leave Brett alone. Leave him alone.
Bible, isn't it? There's no cover on it. What's the cover on that? That's the Bible, isn't it? Oh, there we go.
Look how old it is, people.
I legitimately thought he got the Bible out.
I did it.
Bret Hart's book. I was like, wow.
No, look, literally, the book's that old. Look at it. It's literally, it's old. It's old book. Leave Brett alone, man.
Well, that's more weather than Austin's wife, bro.
Brett was depressed on the road. His wife was basically mean to him. His wife wasn't giving him no puntang. So, I mean.
Oh, right. So it's okay for Brett to cheat because his wife wasn't.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying.
Thou shalt not covet another man's wife.
Remember that. Rock didn't, you know what? People, I've stooped low for Rock, and I think I've stooped enough.
He definitely stooped.
Yes, you have. Yes, you
Back to you.
So next week will be the AEW All In pre-show, ladies and gentlemen. Are you boys ready?
Oh, come on! Come on!
It's are we going to do that later? Because I assume they're going to announce probably matches.
We need more matches. Yeah, we need more matches to talk about.
Yeah,
we'll see what it's like, and then we'll see if we can squeeze one in maybe Thursday if you guys are up for it. Because I'm working Friday before, and then
Okay.
Be a difficult one. Saturday, sorry, I'm working the Saturday, so we got up till Friday to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, like I'm working the Saturday before for BCD, and I'm going to be at obviously Coliseum and then AEW, and then I might be working on the Monday as well. What a weird time to put on a wrestling show Monday evening after AEW. But hey, you know, who am I to go? if you're watching, by the way, thank you very much for the bookings. You know, but it's that thing of yeah, right. Also, let us know if you think Austin or The Rock, who's biggest. I'd like to know what that is. I'm going to do something different, and I'm going to leave a trivia question, and I'm going to see who gets the answers right. So whoever gets it right first in the comments, we'll give you a big shout out and share your social media platform or whatever. So here's the question: Ric Flair took part in a loser leaves town match against Mr. Perfect on Monday Night Raw. Does everyone remember that? Marvelous bit of storytelling that was. I want you to tell me. Obviously, he lost because he went straight to WCW. But I want you to tell me, what was his first match back in WCW?
Was it Sting?
It was not, no.
Okay.
Was it Barry Windham? Oh, no. Hollywood Blondes.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. The tag match. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
There you go. Very good. I mean, I was going to give you all. I really meant for the fans. So
I thought that as well. But Gabe already started shooting.
Sorry.
He started shooting out the answers.
So I'm not going to shout out your social media, even though you're collaborating. I'm like, come on, bro. So, all right, we'll find another question because Anton ruined that one. But
what's your game? Gabe started throwing out answers. I thought I was.
Gabe has to go under the bus first every time.
Hey, come on. Why did you ask us?
Politician never takes the blame. Yeah, right? Yeah, in this scenario, Brett Hart is played by Gabe Myers.
Right. Go on.
Bret Hart's
Say your next
ex-wife
question.
is played by Anton Green.
Next trivia question. I'm keeping stum.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll tell you what, we'll think of one for the next time. By the way, for anyone who hasn't checked it out, check out the quiz. Let us know what you think from the SummerSlam quiz. I need to get these two on the quiz because that'll be golden. Stop, put the book down. What's wrong with you? Anton Green, where can everyone find Let's Talk Business? Because I sure as hell know that Gabe doesn't know.
You can find us on Facebook as Let's Talk Business, Instagram, and in terms of podcast, we're on Spotify, Apple, usual platforms.
15.
Yes, you are. What's your next? Yes, 15. What's your next podcast that you're dropping? Is this the WrestleMania 6 one?
That'll be the next one, yeah, that we put out.
Be listening to that. I'm looking forward to that. When's that dropping?
Well, we'll probably the audio version of this will drop this week. So next week, we'll probably do WrestleMania 6.
And no doubt the Facebook page will be updated as soon as possible. Is it always?
Absolutely.
I'm fucking watching it.
I'm going. Listen, people, I'm actually going to the gym literally right as we finish afterwards. So I'm going to do a nice training session and put my workout on the page. So
beautiful. That's because business will be returning to action soon in the event. Just a month now, isn't it, boys?
Yep, just under a month now.
AEW.
WW.
Wait, after the biggest up there, I was like, come on.
Yeah, you can't give a spoiler that we're gonna jump turn the FTR Young Bucks into a triple threat.
You know,
you're not worried.
That's a spoiler.
You're not worried from a distance. People might think you're the Dudley Boys. If it's in the upper technically, like, oh my god!
I am bold now. So maybe.
You never know. You never know. Rocking it as well, mate. But yeah, check out Let's Talk Business. Genuinely great podcast with two of the greatest people that I've met in professional wrestling. You got to check it out. Very, very cool stuff. And obviously check out WrestlePlug at WrestlePlug on all social media platforms. Started doing a lot more stuff, putting up loads of old school wrestling matches on the WrestlePlug page. So if you're feeling a bit froggy and want to see something a bit more old school, we put Bobby Eaton versus Ricky Morton on there the other day. So check that out. Some good stuff if you like the old school, because we like celebrating all forms of professional wrestling. Good forms of professional wrestling, has to be said. But yeah, 15.
No, I said except AEW.
I said good forms. Shut your mouth. We've AEW ad nauseum on this podcast. I'm sorry, we're going to get more hate mail. But yeah, we'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. From myself, Aeron X, from the Hitman, Gabe Myers.
15.
And of course, from Mr. Clean, Anton Green. 15 indeed. It's 15 is basically the age that we act.
I was going to say, you've got to be careful now. Be careful.
Yeah. The age that we act, all right? Let's wind it in. We've got enough heat as it is. Thank you very much. British Wrestling can't take another hit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching WrestlePlug XLTB. And we will catch you very soon for more content from both platforms. Don't forget to subscribe. See you later, gang.
Thank you.
15? Fucking 15, honestly.